the most dynamic two-way players that the NBA has ever seen. We are going to give you guys each and every one of them and talk about which ones are overrated, which ones are underrated, which ones are properly rated, and which ones simply are just in a class above the rest of them. But we gotta dive into what the term two-way player actually means and what it is and how you define that. Is there a certain formula or eye test that gives you this this two-way player label, or is it just a label that they give to guys that play defense and can make a shot or two?
Mars, before we go any further, like, do I just walk into your house and just start? I don't even introduce myself. Hey, Mars, how you doing, brother? What's going on with you today? I don't get it.
Oh, hello. Hi. Yeah. Ron, I guess, yeah.
I don't get it.
What's up, Mars? What's up, Chill? What's up,
I don't
chat?
get it. It's like you just walking in.
Facts, man. Host. Yeah,
what's up, Ron? What's going on with you today, brother?
What's up?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm cool. Hey, the people ready for us to get into it.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Now, Ron, to your question, you were talking about what makes a two-way player. What makes a two-way player is a guy who plays on both sides of the basketball. He takes pride in being a defender. You don't have to be an all-league defender to be a two-way player. Jaylen Brown is not an all-league defender, but he's a two-way player. Excuse me. Drew Holiday is not the league leading scorer, but he is a two-way player. He plays on the offensive side of the basketball. So he can score the basketball at a good rate, but he also is an elite defensive player. When you only play on one side of the basketball, that's a specialist. You specialize in one thing specifically. On that side of the ball, I might be a scorer. I might just be a distributor. When I play on both sides of the basketball, I don't specialize in one thing. I've said this to you guys countless times. The cheese is not extra. It comes with the burger. So I'm not rewarding you for being a two-way player. And the reason why I'm not doing that is because if you want to be great, that's what you're supposed to be. Now, if we're going to talk about you being a great player and you only play on one side of the ball, it's difficult for me to talk about you like I talk about other players because they also play on both sides of the ball and they do more. But when you have a guy who, for example, Luka, as good as Luka is on the offensive side of the ball, his drop on the defensive side of the ball, it kind of goes by the wayside with a lot of people because he's so good offensively. Magic, on the other hand, there was effort on the defensive side of the ball. And because there was effort on the defensive side of the ball, I don't think he was a complete basketball player, but I do think that there was some effort. I say that to say, when you are a guy who only plays on one side of the ball, you're more of a specialist. And I can't talk about you like I talk about Olajuwon, like I talk about Scottie Pippen, like I talk about David Robinson, like I talk about LeBron James. I can't talk about you like that because you're more this than you are that.
Morris, what's your definition of a two-way player?
I don't know. I always get confused with this term. I
feel like today we got to get down to the bottom of this.
Let's get to it. Yo.
What is a two-way player?
What are the requisites? You're just a better two-way player, but that's not the regular thing. Seems to be someone who plays defense and can score. That's how most people seem to define it. But I don't know. I really don't know. It's a conversation that always confuses me.
What are you confused about, Mars? Like that? When is there something specific that you're confused about when we talk about two-way players? What are you listening to that throws you off the track?
Hearing a player who is clearly inferior to another is a better two-way player than someone else. Just it confuses me at like what they're getting at. Like,
can we get an example?
Am I meant to bring up the LeBron and Hakeem thing?
Not yet. Yeah. But you could. But we could talk about it. Sure.
I don't get how you could say Hakeem's a better two-way player than LeBron. It doesn't make sense to me. But that's because I don't know what two-way player means. So that's why I'm here to gain an understanding. So I don't know what it is. So that's, I don't know. Ox, Chill gave his explanation. Yeah,
I think it's got to be somebody that's above average on both sides of the ball. And yeah, I think that's the best way to. That's the only way it makes sense to me. Yeah, somebody that's just above average on both sides, defense and offense. But also, with that being said, I don't feel like being a two-way player makes you necessarily like a better all-around player. You know what I mean? Like there's still other things. Like you still got to be able to rebound, distribute the ball, floor raise. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff.
Isn't that part of being a two-way player, though, Ox?
Like, well, that's all. I mean, two-way. It's only not. No, I think being a two-way player is a part of being an all-around player. Right. You know what I mean, just being a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? That's why I hate this. I hate these terms. It's like, nah, you're just a hooper. Like, you know what I'm saying?
See, that's the difference
right
there.
You're just actually playing ball.
But that's the difference right there. The hooper, the basketball player. Because, like, I hear people telling me, what is KD?
KD is adult. He a hooper. But
okay, so KD is a hooper. You consider KD a two-way player?
He doesn't get considered a two-way. I don't know if you do, Ox, but I'm just saying the general masses don't consider KD a two-way player.
Yeah, I mean, but but he plays ball though. You know what I mean? Like he's not a slouch on the defensive end.
No, he isn't.
You know what I mean? He makes good plays too. You know what I'm saying? Like so that's what I'm saying. Like Bron ain't a two-way player to me.
Bron anymore?
You know what I'm
saying?
Now, when you say anymore or ever?
Bron never been a two-way player. Bron just a baller. Like that, but that's what I'm saying. That's not a knock.
I think I understand.
Yeah, that's not a knock. That's big and Bron up. Like, bro, don't call me no two-way player, bro. I'm a basketball player. You know what I mean? Like I feel like two-way player can also be a derogatory term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you calling me a two-way basketball player, bro? I'm playing basketball. This is how you're supposed to play basketball. This isn't being a two-way player. This is just me hooping. You know,
I want to address this super chat early because it kind of is alluding to what we're getting at. Aiden Reyes sent through a super chat. Shout out to Aiden getting in the super chat game early in the show. He said, the only thing about the two-way title, it only goes to guys that are elite on defense and good on offense. But players like KD aren't labeled two-way, but he's elite on offense and good on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Is there truth to this?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
That's what confuses me. I don't get the term like at all. And
so it's the term more than anything, Mars.
Well, the way people use it, like it doesn't make sense to me. Like how, like calling Kawhi a better two-way player than LeBron just doesn't register in my brain as making sense. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't understand how you get to that conclusion. So I just
Mars. I think they're just throwing that two-way label on 3-and-D guys too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, guys that are just like 3-and-D. That's like your job is to kind of guard like the best player in certain positions, like and then you just kind of have a specialty on offense, maybe knock down like PJ Tucker. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like PJ Tucker.
PJ Clay. Who else gets
Clay? Wait, Ron. Hold on. Not too much on Clay, bro.
Clay's like the super duper 3-and-D. That's what
Clay's not as much today.
Like the Michael Jordan of Danny Green.
Right. Not as much today not as much today of two-way players, but Klay Thompson was definitely a complete ball player. 100% he was. He could put the ball on the floor. He could knock down open shots. He wasn't a great passer, but he would pass.
Was Klay more complete or was he more 3-and-D?
I think he was more complete.
And I don't think that's a knock to Klay, but I think part of that had to do with his role too. You got Draymond, you got Steph, you got Andre Iguodala, you got Sean Livingston. I don't need to put the ball on the floor. All I need to do is snipe. And then on defense, I'm an elite defender, so I'm checking the best wing defender every night. I think it was more so just due to his role. Had he been by himself, maybe we might not be looking at him as just a 3-and-D guy. Maybe we look at him as more of a Ray Allen type of guy, where it's like he can shoot, but he does everything other things too. And since he's the best player on the team, he's not guarding the best player. So maybe we don't see as good of flashes as we do as he showed on defense in Golden State.
I'm still calling Klay more of a two-way than a 3-and-D though.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Clay, I'm definitely giving him more two-way than 3-and-D.
He didn't just shoot the long ball, Ron. He didn't just stand behind the long ball line and shoot the long ball. The guys weren't just creating shots for him. He did do that. That was his game, but he didn't just do that. He was a catch and shoot guy. He was a shot fake, put the ball on the floor, 2 dribble pull up. He was a catch the ball, 2 dribbles, get to the basket. Now, he's not throwing the ball between his legs 5 or 6 times like Allen Iverson or Kyrie Irving. No, he's not doing that. No, we're not running isolations for him where he's a one-on-one guy. No, that's not happening either. But what we are doing is when he comes off that curl and he's not open, he can put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. He's not just a catch and shoot guy. So I feel like that kind of limited him because you see how good he is at the long ball line. And then on the defensive end, I mean, he was an elite defensive player. I don't think that's up. I doubt that that's up for debate. That he was elite on the defensive end. His ability
was
to switch,
definitely above average.
I think so. His ability to switch, his ability to close out, plus rebound too. At that size, at 6'6", 6'7", his ability to rebound. I thought that I felt like Clay on the defensive end, he was elite. Was he elite for a long time? I don't think he was elite for a long time, but there was a stretch where Klay Thompson was elite as a defensive player. I think he's more of a complete ball player than he is a two-way player. Now, here's the problem, Ron. When we hear two-way player, because that's where Mars is getting mixed up. When we hear complete player, we think that there are people who think that I'm not going to say you guys, but there are people who think that complete player means everybody. I'm going to lump this guy in with everybody. There are other complete players who are better. That doesn't mean that this guy who's a complete ball player, that he's just as good as this other guy who's a complete ball player. Because Klay Thompson is not as good as Kawhi Leonard as a complete player. No, he isn't. That's not the way that works. But Klay Thompson is more of a complete ball player than he is a DM3 guy.
Mars, can I get your take on this? What would you label Klay as? Two-way, 3D?
Right, in his prime.
Yeah.
Right. I think 3-and-D players are two-way players. I didn't know there was a distinction. I thought if there's a 3-and-D player, they're also a two-way player. So I think Klay's both.
But think about this though, Miles. When you think about a 3-and-D player, what does he primarily do?
Shoot threes and play defense.
Right, and that's almost a specialist more than it is a two-way player.
Am I missing something?
Ron, I'm telling you, I don't understand. I'm trying to. I don't. Klay was a specialist.
So is that all Klay was a long ball shooter? Is that all he was?
You just said an offensive player is a specialist. I mean, I think Steph is more than just offense, but like you called one-way players specialist. I can't call Klay a specialist.
You can. This is what I'm saying, Mars. When I think about a specialist, I think about a guy who does something primarily. Like, for example, Dale Ellis. Dale Ellis averaged 25 a game. Dale Ellis was primarily a long ball shooter. That was mostly his game. That's primarily what he did. Chris Mullin didn't play that much on the defensive side of the ball. But then I can flip that around to a guy like James Harden. James Harden is a bucket getter. He plays on the offensive side of the ball. He does a lot more on the offensive side of the ball. So he doesn't just do one thing. So James Harden isn't a specialist more than he is an offensive player. There's guys who play on the offensive side of the ball who do one thing, just like Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace was a specialist. Ben Wallace was not a two-way player. He was a specialist. He played on the defensive side of the ball. That was it. Dennis Rodman was a specialist. He played on the defensive side of the ball. Rudy Gobert is somewhat of a specialist.
No, he's a specialist. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Rudy Gobert, he plays on the defensive side of the ball. When you have a guy who only does one thing, or not necessarily one thing, but he doesn't do a lot of things, I classify that as being more of a specialist than being a complete basketball player.
If Dale Ellis can be called a specialist because he shoots threes, how is Klay Thompson not a specialist? I don't get it.
I think we're calling him a specialist. I think we're calling him specialist margins because he was such a good three-point shooter. But I think he had a little bit more on the offensive end than some of these specialist guys. You know, like Kyle Korver, you know what I'm saying, was more so like this is what you're doing, Kyle. You're shooting threes. I think Klay could do a little bit more. That's the only way I could look at it, justify it.
Yeah, he can do more than Kyle Korver. I mean, I would call him. I think he's a 3-and-D player, but I think a 3-and-D player is a two-way player by default because you're doing things on offense.
Is Najee Marshall a 3-and-D guy?
No, I'd consider him a two-way player.
and you would consider him a two-way player based on. Well, what do you classify?
I'm calling it two-way. I mean 3-and-D if you don't really have much else on the offensive end. You know what I'm saying? Like if your offensive thing is like how I was saying, like PJ Tucker, but PJ is more just a guy that's gonna spot up in that corner and just shoot and be a threat from the 3-ball. But if you got more like younger Ray Allen wasn't no 3-and-D guy. You know what I'm saying? He was obviously you know what I'm saying? He was just so much more of a better scorer. That's the only way that's the only way I'm differentiating it, is just like you're not just a 3-and-D guy if you can do more with the ball and
So that's what's looking like it's the divider for me or for everybody. So 3-and-D is if you strictly shoot threes and you play defense. Let's say Gary Harris in Denver. Somebody like that.
I guess, yeah. Gary Harris showed a bit more than that, but I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah.
And then you have, it seems like if you do a little bit more than shooting threes, if you can score, maybe distribute, then that makes you a two-way player.
Yeah, but then also too, there's some 3-and-D guys that ain't really playing no defense, bro.
Yeah, they just get given the label. Malik Beasley got called a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, that's what I was really looking for right there.
Yeah, like, bro.
Yeah, but like that's just fake labels. But so what was Jason Kidd?
Definitely a two-way player.
He was an all-around hooper.
So I'm just trying to.
Don't disrespect
I'm trying to understand.
I will not go for that today.
See,
but he's still a two-way player though, Ox.
Yeah, but he's more than that though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes a two-way player is a derogatory term. Don't put that on J Kidd. J Kidd was a hooper all the way around.
I don't. This is why I don't think two-way is a derogatory term. I think two-way actually shows that you are an all-around player. Because you got a guy like Steve Nash, you would never put the two-way label on Steve Nash. But if we're arguing J Kidd and Steve Nash, and you say, well, no, J Kidd was way better than Steve Nash. He was a two-way player. What you're insinuating is that he plays both sides of the ball at a very high level.
Yeah, but still disrespectful to call J Kidd a two-way player.
He's just so much more.
He's just so much more than that.
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. A hooper.
Wrong.
All the way around.
Rondo's kind of tough.
What's tough about this?
Rondo's kind of tough.
What's tough about this, Ron?
I don't know if I necessarily want to throw the two-way label on him. So, I mean, Rondo would be a guy where I would say all around. I don't think it's a term to define Rondo.
Yeah. How bad can you be offensively to still be called a two-way player?
Draymond.
But see, guys like Draymond is not a great scorer, but he's still very valuable in the offensive end of the floor.
Very valuable.
You know so would you call Draymond Green a two-way player?
100%.
Okay, so
I might want to call him a hooper. You know, he's all around.
Part two of that question. This is for Ron. This is for Ron because Ox is doing the all-around thing, and that's a whole new kind of worms that I'm too stupid to understand that. So I'm just going to step back. So is Draymond Green better offensively than Jokic is defensively?
Yeah, I think so. He provides more value. Yeah.
Okay, so Jokic wouldn't be called a two-way player.
No,
hell no.
So the bar so far we set the bar at Draymond Green level on one side of the ball is enough to be a two-way player. Yeah. That's the bar we got.
Also, too though, and it kind of goes to my man Aiden Superchat. Draymond's defense is so elite that you start with knowing that he's an elite defender, and then it's like, okay, he gives me the playmaking on offense. He gives me just the coaching and the IQ on offense. He gives me pushing the break on offense. He'll give me a little bit of scoring on offense. Early Draymond could step out and knock down the three. So he was just kind of that Swiss Army knife on offense. So it's like he gives me the elite defense and then he's a positive on offense. So then it's like, yeah. But how good if Draymond's defense was just average, then would he be, or not even average, just a notch down from what it is? Not defensive, not first team all defensive caliber. Still very good, but not great.
If if Draymond's defense was average, he'd almost be a bum.
Yeah, he would. No, he would. Yeah, if Draymond was an average defender, he wouldn't be in the NBA. Respectfully,
but not even average.
With all due respect,
the notch down, though. Just the notch down. Do we still label him as a two-way player, or is it the defense that only allows him to be in that two-way category?
Well, but then it's not two-way. Then it's one-way. If he's only being called two-way because he's great on one side, how is he two-way?
So that's why I'm asking that. So with a lot of guys, your defense has to be elite to even get put in this category. Like KCP, for instance.
Yeah,
but amazing on-ball defender. Knocks down a three. But
he's a 3-and-D guy, right?
Yeah. But I'm saying,
he play in the mid-range off the dribble handoffs and the elbow jump shots, and he misses a transition layup every game.
3-and-shoot, like a 3-and-shoot guy, 3-and-shoot. I mean, a D-and-shoot, shooting three, shooting D,
shooting D.
Yeah. You know,
we'll go with it. Shooting D. That's KCP. Yeah.
But the thing about Draymond Green too is, like I said, because putting the ball in the basket is not that hard. Draymond can do that. Like, I think he just understands that that's not really supposed to do. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of times where Draymond will just go on a run and give a quick 6-8. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't know, man.
What's Paolo Banchero?
This is a tough conversation.
Yeah, I'm still confused. What's Paolo Banchero?
I don't consider Paolo a two-way player.
Okay, what's Scotty Barnes?
Definitely a two-way player.
Okay. What's Jabari Smith?
Two-way player.
Okay.
He's 3-and-D more so, but has the potential to really be a very good two-way player.
Okay, I'm once again, I'm still just. So Shea's a two-way player, right?
I would consider him, yeah.
But Luka isn't.
Mars.
I'm just asking the questions. Luka isn't, right?
Hell no.
Okay.
Not just
Fudge no.
Jason Tatum is.
Yeah.
Is Devin Booker.
Sometimes
I think Devin Booker's defense is better on defense than a lot of people give him credit for, so I would say yes.
Donovan Mitchell.
Nah.
Okay. I'm just trying to find where the bar is.
Yeah.
To see what's the worst you could be on one side of the ball to where you can still get the two-way player label.
We talking about a lot of guards. I want to talk about go ahead though. Finish.
So right now, so far as I've got is Draymond. If you're Draymond Green offensively, that's the worst you can be offensively to still.
But you have to be Draymond Green defensively too, or play defense at a high level. Because we just acknowledged that Draymond's defense wasn't the.
Well, then I don't think any role players can be considered two-way players then.
If you play elite defense.
They're not Draymond Green on defense.
But not necessarily. So KCP,
there's got to be a sliding scale, right?
If Draymond is what he is on offense,
yeah,
and he's only a two-way player because of his defense, how can we then say KCP is a two-way player? That doesn't make sense.
Well, Mars, I don't think it's only because of his defense, because he provides a lot of value on the offensive end. And Draymond does. He might not be a great scorer, or he might not score a lot, but he provides.
Who's more valuable on offense, KCP or Draymond?
Draymond.
Okay. And Draymond clears him defensively, right? Clears.
Right. So I mean,
if that's the lowest bar to be two-way, how can KCP be two-way?
All two-way players aren't created equal.
But I'm just going off what Ron said. Ron said if Draymond was any worse defensively, he wouldn't be a two-way player because of his offensive level. If KCP is worse than him on offense and is substantially worse on defense, how can we then say KCP is a two-way player?
He becomes a two-way specialist now, which is 3-and-D.
I'm confused.
he becomes a specialist of a two-way player. Now you're labeled as a 3-and-D two-way guy.
Ron, I think we should take that back. What you said about Draymond on the offensive end. I think we should reevaluate that statement.
What part?
What's going
on, about that? If you're any worse than him on offense, then you can't be considered, because Draymond provides a lot of value on the offensive end. That guys that can Like there's guys that can score better than Draymond that provide less value on the offensive end than Draymond. So that's the only reason I'm saying we should probably reevaluate that statement when we're trying to lock down this these definitions.
I'm gonna read Teddy Hart's super chat. He might be able to provide us with more insight and clarity on this. He said Draymond is two-way because of his defense and offense, mostly playmaking ability though, not scoring, but it's still offense.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm with that. Draymond is a positive on both sides of the ball because he provides enough value offensively to then be labeled a two-way player. So then what's the bar for being a positive on that side of the ball? Like, if you're just average on one side of the ball, but you're great on the other, are you a two-way player?
I would say yes.
So how bad do you think Jokic is on defense?
Pretty bad.
Oh, then okay, then we just disagree.
I mean, he works harder than I think people give him credit for, but like still think he's pretty bad on.
So you think Jokic actively makes Denver's defense worse?
I wouldn't say that because there's guys like KCP's gone, but previously there was guys like KCP and Gordon who I think not necessarily cover up for him, but they work good together. You know what I'm saying? Like Jokic does his job on defense to the best of his ability. And so there, if you say he makes him worse on defense, that's only us thinking, well, there's somebody else that you could put there that will make them better on defense. I don't think he makes him worse on defense. Like he's not necessarily a defensive liability, but he could just be so much better. You know what I mean? Like there's somebody.
Draymond could be so much better on offense, right?
Yeah, of course.
You see what I'm putting out there right now?
I don't think Draymond's a liability on offense though either.
I don't think Jokic is a liability on defense.
I think Draymond. Well, I didn't say he was either. I think Jokic could be better at defense, but I don't think he's necessarily gets picked on. Like he doesn't make it to where it's like, God damn, can we get this dude out the way? Like nah, because he has active hands. He does his thing, but he could be a much better defender. Whereas Draymond could also be a better offensive player, but I don't think he's a liability. I don't think he gets in the way. If anything, I think he helps and accelerates that Warrior offense.
When you say Draymond could be a better offensive player, do you mean he could be a better scorer or an overall offensive player? Because in terms of his ability to pass, his ability to get downhill, I mean, how much better can he be at that? I think just being more of a shooting threat, a threat on the block, maybe, right. You know what I'm saying? A post threat, a guy that can get on blocks and post up and bully guys down there. Right. If he could add some, you know, maybe on the block a turnaround jumper, right. A jump hook, be more consistent in when they leave him open at the three. So his ability to score. Things, okay.
Yeah. So and mind you, like I said when you were gone, Chill, I think Draymond actually can score the ball,
right?
You know, fairly well. This is not a part of his game like that. Because I mean, we've all seen him have little spurts where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go get a bucket. You know what I mean? Right. But he doesn't do that because there's guys on his team that, you know, he needs to facilitate.
Now, does he not do? I think he does it. I just don't think that it's part of what they do. I think right. I think it's more for them. That's their job. I'm the facilitator. I'm the table setter. I play the point forward spot. I'm almost like the Scottie Pippen of our offense, where I'm getting guys involved in the game. I'm the threat going downhill. I'm the better passer. So I get guys involved in that aspect. But as far as a scorer, I mean, Draymond's never really been a big-time scorer. Even when he was in college, he was never really a big-time scorer. When he got to the league, I think I think he averaged what? As a career high, he averaged like 14 a game. I mean, that's probably the best you're going to get out of Draymond. But is Draymond elite on the other side of the basketball? Well, he does the other things at an elite level. I like watching Draymond as a passer, as a playmaker, as a screener, getting downhill, drawing defenses. I do think that Draymond on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball, I do think he's a two-way player. Or a complete basketball player. The two-way problem, Mars, I became more coherent to it and to understand it more. The term two-way is kind of what threw me off initially. I just replaced it with complete player. That's all it is.
My biggest thing when it comes to like these two-way players or 3-and-D guys is we don't never give centers any love in this conversation. Is there a term for centers?
Did you not hear the LeBron Hakeem conversation?
100%.
No. Okay, Hakeem is completely different. We know Hakeem is different. Hakeem might be when it comes to filling up both cups, the offensive cup and the defensive cup. I think Hakeem, maybe you could say Duncan, and we're just talking about big men, power forwards and centers. And
Shaq was too.
Well, if we're talking about filling up both cups,
Yes,
Hakeem, I think
Shaq
Hakeem fills up. We could put Shaq in there, so we could say Shaq, KG, Duncan, and Hakeem.
Correct.
AD, you could say AD as well.
Ball.
But outside of that, though, I don't
Chamberlain.
I don't think it's not even a term for a center that anchors on defense and even provides you a little bit of offense too. And it doesn't got to be the greatest offense. It doesn't got to be I'm giving you 25 a night, but even just it's not even a term for like Duncan block or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Lonzo Mourning was
block. That's fire.
Well, we don't even have.
Was DeAndre Jordan a two-way player?
He would be a Duncan block guy,
but not a two-way player. Is that the equivalent?
I would consider him a two-way player. Yeah, I would.
Isn't that like a
okay? I'm sorry. I have to ask you a question again. So DeAndre Jordan is better on offense than Jokic is on defense?
No, hell no.
So how can DeAndre Jordan be a two-way player but Jokic isn't?
Well, look. I wouldn't consider DeAndre Jordan a two-way player. If Ron does, he does. I don't. But I think DeAndre Jordan has value on the offensive end when he has somebody that can throw him a lob, when he's a lob threat. So it's like for that term, Ron, it's more like a lob threat, a rim protector. That's a lob threat. That's the 3-and-D for a big. So
a lob and block. That's what we're gonna call it.
Basically, a Clint Capella guy when he was in Houston. DeAndre Jordan, those type of guys. You know, you're a rim runner. You're a catch and dunk rim protector. You know what I mean?
Side note: I want to shout out all the guys, especially in the 2010s, that were all the centers. That were lob and dunk guys or lob and block guys. It was a lot of them. The Clint Capellas of this world, the DeAndre Jordans, all of those guys that was Tyson Chandlers, all of them guys that was catching oops and really holding down the paint. They're obviously never going to get mentioned in all-time talks, but these were two-way big guys that provided value at the rim on defense and provided value at the rim on offense. I don't think they get as much love in just the two-way category.
But see, Ron, that's that next step right there.
I
think he's more of a lob and block type, a lob and block, but not necessarily a two-way. You know what I mean? Hakeem was that two-way. DeAndre is a lob and block.
Here's what I'm saying.
You can't post them up and dump it down time and time again.
So was Joakim Noah a two-way player?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Joe. I'm for sure gonna give it to Joe. For me, it's the passion and being able to run the offense out of the high post and things of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah, but
you don't think?
I mean, I guess so.
I'm still just trying to get the gauge of where we're drawing the line.
Because he provided a little. I think Joakim provided more on offense than a guy like DeAndre Jordan did. He provided more value. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. So Dwight Howard is a player, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Dwight was now that's what I'm getting to, kind of feeling like that's almost a derogatory term for Dwight. You know what I'm saying? Dwight and Hakeem. Like they're not on the same level. They're not on the same level. Maybe not. No. Okay, maybe not at the level of like Hakeem. I feel like calling Hakeem a two-way player is almost disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, he's just a complete pure hooper. Dwight, I guess you could call him more of a two-way. I guess so. I'll ease up on that. I think so.
Kenyon Martin, two-way player.
Yes, but even on offense, I think Kenyon needed a little more on offense, especially once he got to the league. Whereas in college, he was just a dominant. I guess so. I guess we'll go two-way with Kenyon too. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure things out. It's a shame Chill's not here. I had a question for him, but oh well.
So I'm gonna run through.
You can ask me more. I'm an old head.
Oh no, it's something. It's based on something. He said some people were top 20 defenders in the NBA, and I just wanted to see if he's actually believed that or he just said it off the cuff because some interesting things.
I'm gonna run through some guys, current and all-time guys, and I need you guys to let me know how you would label them. There's 4 different labels. So we got the 3-and-D label. We got the two-way label. You could just say all-around baller label, or we just came up with a new term, lob and block. So you guys can let me know what you would label these guys as. The first guy I'm going to start with is Bam Adebayo.
Two-way.
Okay, two-way.
I'm content with the two-way with him too.
He ain't better than Asia, but two-way.
Next, Dennis Rodman. Oh, and you could just say one way.
I don't think Dennis was a two-way player at all. I think he was just a
one way.
Defensive specialist.
Yeah, specialist.
Or
yeah.
I guess you could say specialist if it's
defensive specialist. Yeah.
Okay. Defensive specialist.
Sidney Moncrief.
Two-way.
I'm with the two-way as well.
OG Anunoby.
Yeah, two-way. Come on.
Two-way.
Two-way? I'm thinking 3-and-D for OG.
OG too nice, bro. OG
I mean,
too nice.
How nice do you? Because okay, OG is a solid offensive player, but OG's not what you're ready to say he is on offense. And I know you're an OG guy, but OG's not that.
Maybe not to you. We see different things.
OG will crack that long ball. OG will occasionally go and he'll run the fast break. He'll get you a dunk and stuff like that. But is OG more valuable in offense than KCP?
Yes.
Not better.
Don't give me the cursing, Ron.
So hold on. What OG provides, and let's just look at the team basis. What OG provides for this Knicks team this upcoming year, it's going to be more valuable than what KCP provided for the Nuggets.
4 times more valuable.
OG is the better offensive player, in my opinion.
OG's the better basketball player, Ron, all the way around.
OG is the more valuable offensive player, if that's how you want to.
I agree he's a better offensive player. What I'm saying, just because you're better doesn't necessarily mean that all of a sudden I can rip that 3-and-D title away from you.
Okay. I get what you're saying, Ron.
Because this is what I'm saying. OG is going to be delegated to spotting up and shooting a lot of threes. Like, yes, he'll get some straight line drive dunks and stuff like that, but you got to understand he's playing with Jalen Brunson. He's playing with Julius Randle now. He's playing with Mikal Bridges. He's playing with better than who?
Keep going. I don't think he's better than Mikal Bridges, but keep going.
Mikal not better than OG, chill.
Yes, he is. So keep going.
So you got all of these guys that have to get shots above him. Don't let Dante DiVincenzo be hot. Don't let Josh Hart be feeling it.
Ball shooter.
So it's like he's gonna be delegated.
That doesn't
I've never been so confused in a show in my life.
That doesn't mean that you just relegated to spotting up and shooting, though, right? Like he could be, especially with guys like that. Now it's time for you to be a slasher, OG. Cut. I need you moving without the ball, not just spotting up in the corner. Now, if Tibbs does do that, then this is when I officially become disappointed in Tom Thibodeau. This is when I'm officially like, bro, you're not coaching for worth a damn. If you just because for the reasons you said, Ron, if those are the reasons why OG is just spotting up in the corner or being a pick and pop guy for Jalen Brunson or something like that, bro, that's when it's just like
they're gonna run
Tibbs off the floor. Right? Get Tibbs off the floor. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
They ran action.
OG is so much more than that.
They ran action in Toronto for OG. They ran action for him. I'm confident they'll run action for him in New York. Will they run a lot of action for him? No, but they will run action for him. So if we run an action for you, and not just to get a jump shot, but if we actually if we run an ISOs for you, because I like to think that watching OG's not a bad isolation player. He can play one-on-one. Yes, he can, Mars.
The Knicks run ISOs for OG Anunoby. I mean, I guess.
That's what I'm saying.
Is OG Anunoby? Is he Jason Tatum one-on-one? Is he Anthony Edwards one-on-one? No, he ain't that good. But can we get him one-on-one in an isolation situation at 6'7" against a smaller guy, and he could go after him?
Or a slower guy.
We get a big guy on him. Can we get that action going? Yes, we could get that going. And to Ox's point, that's coaching. Now, we get the other stuff involved. OG Anunoby is not insufficient on offense or not just relegated to being a knockdown open shooter or speeding the game up with his defense. OG Anunoby can score the basketball. One-on-one, he can score the basketball. He can score the basketball in transition. Not only can he score the basketball in transition, he can score on the post. He's not a bad one-on-one player. He can definitely score the basketball. So I think OG Anunoby is a complete basketball player. Now, are there other basketball players more complete than him? Yes. Because they do the other stuff that he does. They do it better than him. That doesn't negate that he's a complete basketball player, though.
It doesn't have, for him, it's not a whole lot of fancy tween. It could be like, especially like how you said, Chill. I think it's more so, OG, you work when you got a mismatch or you're catching the ball in motion, in rhythm, or cutting to the rim and stuff like that. Like, we're not going to be playing the Celtics and Jaylen Brown, or we're not trying to pick on Jaylen. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of them things where if you catch, I know he was decent on defense last year, Morris, but if you catch Sam Hauser in the 15-foot range, catch the ball, rip through, bully him and go. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know what I mean? I think OG has a decent rip through, one count pull up, things like that. Those are isolation moves. It might not look like James Harden with the 2020 step back, but a rip through, one count pull up, that's a hell of a basketball move. You know what I mean? So if you got that, in your bag, you got that in your bag, you get into your spot, you're 6'7", 6'8", you're shooting it high, you're pulling up. That's good. That's great basketball.
Mars, I don't understand what I think what the divide is, Mars, is your understanding of a two-way player, my understanding of a quote-unquote two-way player, more the term than what it actually is. I think that's where the divide is more than anything. Because I think you understand what a complete ball player is. I think you also understand what a D&3 guy is. And there are better D&3 guys in the league than others. That doesn't negate that that's a D&3 guy. Same logic with a complete player. Leonard is a complete player. Jaylen Brown is a complete player. There's more complete players that they do what Jaylen Brown does. They just do it better than him. But they do the same things that he does. Same thing with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a complete basketball player, but there's guys who are more complete than him. I think the two-way logic, I think that's where the divide comes in. Just that term alone.
I don't think it's that hard to wrap your mind around it, though. Two-way just essentially means you're good on both ends of the floor. Or you provide positive value on both ends of the floor.
I just hate that term, though. The two, like people say two-way like it's a premium, like it's a luxury. Like if you play, and why is that though, Ron?
Because as a player, you're positive on both ends of the floor.
And
it's certain players, it could chill. It's got. I mean, you got to ask those guys why they aren't good on offense, or why they aren't good on defense, or why you don't provide the value that you should. But
I know why.
As analysts, it's our job to look and determine. Okay, this guy is subpar on offense because he does this, and doesn't do this. This guy is subpar on defense because he just doesn't fight through screens.
Right.
He's subpar on defense because he just gets beat backdoor time after time after time.
And why are these guys that? Are these guys that because the demand isn't there for them? This is what I'm asking. I'm asking you this off the strength that I don't expect everybody to be all league defenders. But can I demand that you be a better defender? Can I demand that? Like, I think the Joker puts in the effort to be a better defender. He's just not as good at it. I think that these guys, as defenders and being on the defensive side of the floor, because offense is what sells, offense is what puts butts in the seats, offense is what keeps guys on TV, that's what sells. These guys are afraid to compete on the defensive side of the basketball because they're afraid of getting shown up. Mars has mentioned to me more than once, more than twice about coaching. Mars, I've seen guys override coaching. I've seen a guy say, I'm not switching. I've seen a guy say, I'm chasing. I'm getting through that screen. I've seen guys say that. So because I've seen guys say, I'm getting through this screen, or I'm not switching, I'm staying with him, the fact that it's coaching and you're quote unquote trying to hide me or protect me, these guys at some point have to stand up and be better defenders. Damian Lillard is a prime example of that. A guy who never really stood up and took the challenge of, I'm going to slow this guy down. I'm going to do what I can to make it difficult on this guy. Coaching is one thing, but on some level, you as a player have to step up like Jaylen Brown did in the finals when he told Coach Mazzulla, when he goes out the game, I'll come out. But when he comes in, I'm coming in. Vernon Maxwell did the same thing when it came to Drazen Petrovic. When he was playing against Drazen Petrovic, don't put me in when his water's running. Let me deal with him right from the beginning. When I deal with him right from the beginning, that way I can keep him at bay. Once he get going, I have no shot. That's stepping up and accepting the challenge as a defender. And I don't think a lot of these guys are challenged in that way.
So it sounds like you just have beef with switching. That's what it sounds like. What's wrong with switching? Why is switching a sign of bad defense? Did he freeze?
Chill.
Yeah.
Chill. Cat, got your tongue? Answer the question. He ducking smoke. I don't know what else to say to you.
You're so weird, bro.
Mars finally stumped the chill.
That is so weird.
But
I feel sometimes, Mars, switching is it depends on the type of squad we got. Like, you could have a squad where we switching everything, and that's a positive. But sometimes switching is a negative thing too. Like, you should just stick with your man, and a lot of times it's a cop out. Like, you didn't even have to switch. You know how many times you watch the game and somebody sets a screen and they didn't even set the screen, and you just somebody just. People be treating screens like magnets now, where it's just like somebody setting a screen, you just kind of walk into them. Like, bro, you didn't have to do that. You could have fought under that. You could have fought over that. You could have, you didn't have to let yourself get screened. Sometimes it's just lazy defense. And if you're switching with a guy that's a inferior defender than yourself, then that's just it's just a bad move. Like, a lot of times switching is not the right move. But a lot of times it is too. Like, if you play for the Celtics, switch everything. Let's rock. You know what I mean?
So back in the day, right, when the Rockets played the Warriors, and Clay would be the one guarding James Harden, right? And obviously the Rockets would be switch hunting Steph. They'd be trying to get Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in the wrong for switching? Is Steph in the wrong for allowing himself to get switched onto Harden, or is Clay in the wrong for allowing Steph to get switched onto Harden? Who's the bad defender in that situation?
Yeah, it might not necessarily be a bad defender thing. It might be who's setting a good screen. Are you hitting Clay? Are you putting your body on Clay, making it to where Steph has to step up? And in a situation like that, though, Mars, we got to rotate quick. Clay can't get hung up on the screen. Steph has to step up and show and force him back to his best ability to force him back Clay's way. Clay can't switch. Clay has to get through that screen and get back to James. And Steph got to rotate, get the hell up out of there, or we're just doubling it. But you can't leave Steph with James Harden. Clay has to get back.
And when Steph does that, right? When Steph executes that, is Steph playing good defense?
100%.
So when I said it 3 weeks ago, Steph does a great job of not allowing himself to get switched on it. You was like, oh, so Steph's good at running away. But now you're saying it's good defense.
Well, that's because we talked it out now. We talked it out. At that point, what I heard was Steph is running from smoke. That's what I heard.
Like, I mean, he still is, but he should be though. I'm saying like that is the game plan. Steph, stay as far away from him as possible, and it's nothing wrong with that. Just like if he executes the defensive game plan well, is he not providing good value on defense? He is. So is Steph a two-way player? No.
Come on, Mark.
I don't understand. You just said he's providing good value on defense, but he's not a two-way player. So the two-way player means you have to be good on the ball. Is that what is the two-way player mean? You have to be a good on-ball defender.
No, you could be good off the ball too.
Yeah, but you need to be a good on-ball defender. You cannot be a good defender if you're not a good on-ball defender. If you can't guard your man, you're not a good defender.
Okay, question, and this is mainly for Ox. Is Giannis a two-way player?
I think Giannis's defense is very high.
Sends you to hell, bro.
But I know how Ox feels about Giannis' defense on the ball. I think Giannis's defense is very high, but he's a better on-ball defender than Steph Curry.
That's cool. Would you consider Giannis a two-way player? Do you think he's good enough on the ball defensively to where you would consider him a two-way player?
Today, you can go to the bottom of the depths of hell. I swear.
I'm not running from that punk ass pointer finger you got, but put your hand down, bro. I guess I would have to, Mars. I guess I would have to.
Okay. I'm None of these are my opinions. I'm just trying to understand.
I don't think Giannis is a bad defender. I just think that y'all over-exaggerate his defense a little bit. That's all.
Okay, that's cool. So we've now got to the point where you have to be a good on-ball defender to be eligible for the two-way label. You have to be. You can't be a good team defender who's not great on the ball. You have to be a good on-ball defender.
Yeah, that's me personally. In my mind, now this is obviously my word ain't law, but for me, you have to be a good on-ball defender for me to consider you a good defender. If you can't check your man, I'm talking about every position on the floor, 1 through 5. If you can't check your man, then you're not a good defender.
Okay, so for bigs, it's not on the ball on the perimeter, right? It's post defense, or you're saying they have to be able to guard on the perimeter?
They have to be able to guard their man on the perimeter. If you're a 5-man and you can't guard, you can't switch. And even as a 5-man, if you get switched on, I need you to be able to provide something for a couple seconds. You know what I'm saying? Move your feet, keep your hand up for a couple seconds until we can get back. Okay. Or you know what I'm saying, like Rudy Gobert against Luka. That was good defense that was great defense from Rudy Gobert. He moved his feet, but it's Luka Doncic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't expect you to be able to stop that, but I still think that was great defense when Luka hit that shot. Y'all know what I'm talking about in the playoffs. You know what I mean? But if you, and same thing goes for a guard. If you get switched on a big on the block and you get cooked down there, I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? You provide some type of resistance. Like I've seen De'Aaron Fox do it to Draymond Green a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying?
So is Wemby a two-way player?
Yeah, hell yeah.
What? Yeah.
Wemby can't guard bigs.
That's
one on one. No, see, now I'm confused because Wemby one-on-one cannot guard bigs. We're not gonna. In the post, he gets cooked. On the perimeter, he gets cooked. He's a help defender who blocks shots. So, no, explain how Wemby's a two-way player. Please explain.
Wait,
Don't
what?
I'm crazy. Don't act like I'm crazy. Explain to me how Wemby.
Wait, Mars. If that's true, Mars. If that's true, then we're not. Wemby's just not in the race for DPOY next year, then, right?
That's a fact. No, that is 100% a fact.
In my opinion, he's not as good of a defender as people think, but he's a great defender because of his help side rim protection, his value in terms of altering shots, in terms of sliding over and rotating. But in terms of one-on-one defense, guarding his position, I could pull up the numbers if you want. He can't guard the post, and he can't guard bigs in space, and he definitely can't switch on to guards. He's not.
Which bigs are we talking about, Moss? When we're talking about
whoever
bigs?
posts him up, I could.
Anybody.
Are we talking about Joel?
I'm not saying Daniel Gafford post.
That's what I'm talking about, Mars.
If that's the case, but then once again, how is Jokic not a two-way? Because he can guard in the post.
Well, hold on, Mars. Hold on. I want to say two things to that. First off, every elite defender, it's a select list of guys. It's probably a list of about 20 guys that is giving every elite defender. We're talking about wing defenders. They're giving them all buckets, so it doesn't matter. Caruso, it's a list of 20 guys that Alex Caruso can do whatever. He can pick you up full court. He can be a pest. He can use his hands. He can anticipate. These guys are still going to give Alex Caruso 25 a night, no matter what. Does that negate that he's a good defender? No. It's just certain guys that are going to give you. They're going to give it to you no matter what.
Wemby is not. Okay, Ron, are you saying Wemby's a good post defender?
I wouldn't classify him as a bad post defender.
I'm going to ask the question again. Are you saying Wemby's a good post defender?
He's not, at worst, he's average. At worst.
Okay.
Well, Mars, can I jump in there for a second, Mars? I think he's a solid defender on the block, but I think there's guys, there's guys that are just too strong for him right now. I still think he's a good defender down there. He does the right thing. Okay,
you think he's good? Thank you.
Yeah, I still think he's good down there, but I think he just has to get stronger, and then he'll be able to show exactly what he provides on the block, because he gets, sometimes he gets muscled, sometimes he gets up out of his stance too quick, goes for the pump fakes and things like that. But I still think he provides something good down there on the block, and it'll get better.
Yeah, and I want to clarify, because before someone mixes up my words, I think Wemby's an elite defender. The only reason I'm asking this is because of the on-ball stuff that I was just hearing. I think Wemby's an elite defender for the things outside of on-ball defense.
So you disagree with me on that, Mark? You think you don't?
I don't think he's a good post defender. I don't think he's a good.
I'm talking about the statement I made before that. You don't think you have to be a good on-ball defender to be a good defender?
I think I just think you have to be a good defender, the good defensive player. Like, I don't know if that's on-ball or off-ball. But if the bar is you have to be a good on-ball defender, I don't understand how you can then say Wemby's a good. I mean, is when Wemby's a two-way player when on the perimeter he's not good on the ball, and in the post he's not good guarding the post. I could give you the numbers for that, or you go watch it for yourself. He can't guard in the post. He's not strong enough. He allows guys to get by him and hope that he can block shots and is out of position. And on the perimeter, he lunges at ball handlers. He tries to reach. He gets blown by once again, trying to recover and block shots. More often than not, it doesn't work. He's not a good on-ball defender right now. The reason he's so great defensively is because of his help value and the fact that he's able to alter a bunch of shots around the rim because he's 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan and his timing is incredible. But on-ball defense, he's not.
Which is very important, by the way, as a defender.
I wouldn't call him good.
It's very important because from what you're telling me, Mars, he sounds like the big kid in the yard with all the small kids. I really don't know what I'm doing out here. I'm just bigger than everybody else. That's what that sounds like to me. Well, that's exactly what that sounds like to me. With a guy in Wemby, 7.5 feet tall, I don't know how to close out. I'm not familiar with what hand to use when I'm closing out. When I get beat, I'm not really that good at recovering, but I am good at protecting the rim. That sounds to me like the big kid in the yard who really doesn't know his own strength. He doesn't really know how to be around other kids yet. Once he learns that, he's going to be completely different. And that's who Wemby sounds like right now, as opposed to what I heard probably 6 months ago, where Wemby could be the best defensive player in the NBA history. That may be true. That may very well be true that he could be that. Is he that now, though? No, he is not. However, he does play defense. He does play on the offensive side of the basketball. He does play on the defensive side of the basketball. Is he great on ball? No. Is he egregious on ball? No, he isn't. He will compete on the defensive side of the basketball. So when you're talking about a guy who can compete on the defensive side of the basketball, who might not be great, but is getting better, and there is effort, I have to equate that as a two-way player.
So
if you're saying
who is a better post defender?
I'll say J-Val.
Today.
Give me Wemby.
On the block, right?
So Ron, Wemby's a better post defender based on what?
It's just sheer size, ability to block shots, ability to contest and make your.
How do we get to those block shots, Ron?
So why are these tough shots going in when he's guarding people?
So niggas don't give Valanciunas buckets. Are we out of our mind?
We are talking strictly about the
numbers. I don't care about the numbers. Valanciunas is getting his ass fried on that block too.
I'm saying on the post, why are people scoring on Wemby?
Everybody that's giving Valanciunas, everybody that's giving Wemby, why? Everybody that's giving Wemby a bucket is giving Valanciunas that.
So why are they giving Wemby more buckets? How's that
more buckets? I mean, it's hard to stop guys in the post, Ron.
But it's coincidental that Wemby's the one that's stopping less people.
J-Bal is just.
Well, he just got the job.
He's stronger.
I don't care if he's a rookie. We're talking right now. I'm not talking what he's going to do in 5 years. Right now, how is he a better post defender than Jonas Valanciunas? He's bigger. He can potentially block shots. Why is he not blocking them? Because he can theoretically block them. He's not blocking them. They're scoring
blocks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Not in the post. Not in the post. We're talking. No, see, this people conflate. If you're a great defender, if you're a great defender, people just conflate it to you're great at everything. No, Wemby's a great defender because of the things he's great at. He's still flawed on defense. He has fundamental flaws on defense.
Sure.
One of them is his ability to guard one-on-one in the post. He's not a good post defender. That doesn't mean he's not a great defender. But if you're going to say, oh, he's better than Valanciunas defending in the post because he can block shots, but he's not blocking those shots.
I said block and contest.
So why? So all the contested shots are just going in.
Not all of them.
Are you saying, Mars? Are you saying
Valanciunas that going in?
That's what I'm asking you.
If Victor Wembanyama can't play one-on-one defense, he's not a great defender.
Okay,
you have to be able to check your man one-on-one. That is a prerequisite. That is a prerequisite of being a good defender.
Yeah, I disagree with that, but that's fine.
Well, Mars, when you can't check your man, that is a cause for our defense breaking down. That we don't want to have to rotate. We don't want to have to help you. You know what I'm saying? That's something that happens when the defense breaks down. In a utopian defense, we're just playing one-on-one. Everybody staying in front of their man. That is when we're in practice and we're working on things. That's one-on-one. That's 101.
Yep.
Stay in front of your man. Stay in between your man and the basket. We don't need to be helping you. Now, if we are helping you, we want to send you baseline. Unless we just got a great rim protector, then okay, you get beat middle, we can rotate. Other than that, we're sending them baseline. You let the baseline help you. You do not. If you're getting beat one-on-one, you are a defensive liability.
Mars, I know for a fact that you understand that. There's no way you understand that.
I want to, once again, I'm not saying Wemby. I think Wemby's a two-way player. I think Wemby's a great defender. I also think I can say someone's a great defender and acknowledge that they're not great at every part of it.
Sure, I can get with that.
Wemby, I don't know how you can watch Wemby and say, yeah, that's a good post defender. Either you're not watching the games or you just think, oh, he's good on defense, he's good at every part. Because how can you watch Wemby and say he's better defending one-on-one in the post than Jonas Valanciunas? How? It like numbers don't back it up. The eye test doesn't back it up. Watch him like the high-scoring games against each other doesn't back it up. Like, whatever metric you want to go to, Sengun giving him 45, Embiid giving him 70. The actual points per possession in the post, watching games individually, whatever metric, whatever eye test, whatever standard you have, Valanciunas is a better post defender than Wemby. That shouldn't even be seen as an opinion. The only way people would disagree is because like Valanciunas isn't a good defender. Wemby is a good defender. So how is Valanciunas better than him at this part of defense? That's the only way people could even feasibly disagree with this. If I say the same thing about Jokic is a better post defender than Wemby is. That doesn't mean he's a better defender than Wemby is because he doesn't provide the rim protection. He can't move his feet on the outside, all of those things. But singly guarding in the post, Jokic is better than Wemby. And someone said a super chat saying I'm moving the goalpost. First it was on ball, then post defense. The reason I'm bringing up post defense because I asked Ox. So for wings and guards, guarding on the ball is important. So for bigs, would it be guarding in the post, guarding your matchup? And he said, yes, guarding your matchup all over the court, whether it's outside or in the post. That's why I brought up post defense for bigs. I'm not going to bring up post defense for Jalen Brunson. Like, I'm not going to do that. Unless your guard is posting you up, then you got to be able to defend.
Yeah, well, Jalen Brunson's a good guy to bring that up for, though.
Yeah, because Jalen Brunson will post up a guard. Like, you got to be able to handle your matchup. But that's the reason I brought up post defense for Wemby, because he's a big guarding in the post, and he's not doing it well. So would Wemby, by Ox's measure, would he consider Wemby a two-way player? I consider him a two-way player, but that's because I don't use Ox's measure. That's the only reason I'm asking this. So once again, is Wemby a two-way player to you, Ox?
Yeah, but I don't think he's as bad of a one-on-one player than you as you do, though.
Okay, interesting. Okay,
I think he provides a lot of value there, but obviously, I think there are guys that are just stronger than him. So sometimes sometimes he might get bullied a little on the block, but I think he's still providing something down there. Wemby isn't a guy that we're just like, hey, give it to me on the block. I got me one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no one.
Oh no, we're not just going to Wemby. We got one.
No one does that in the NBA. Period. Like unless it's a big on a small, no one's just giving the mismatch the ball in the post in the NBA right now. If there's a mismatch in the post, that means the guard also has a big. And more often than not, that means the guard is attacking before they give the big the poster. That's just the game in 2024. So that's not really happening anywhere in the NBA.
That's not true.
There's a couple guys we dumping it down to.
Not really. If you want to bring up a couple of guys,
I was about to say. Let's
I never said it never happens. I said not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say it might not happen.
More often than not, they're using the guard to attack the mismatch than they are going to the big in the post. More often than not.
But what I'm saying to that though, Mars, is that not there's some guys that they'll dump it down to regardless of who's guarding. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Joel, DeMontis, Jokic, you know what I'm saying? J Val, your man in Houston, you know what I'm saying? They don't need a guard to be on them. They dump it down. AD, you know what I'm saying? There's guys that go to work on the block.
And Wemby can't guard him in the post.
Mars, can I ask you a question?
I don't think Wemby can guard any of those guys I just mentioned on the post. DeMontis, Jokic, Joel, Sengun, even Cat. There's some guys I don't think that he can guard on the block, and that doesn't make him.
The one's really posting up though. Like, where'd you go? They're the only ones really posted. Like in today's game, it's not like you're not seeing Derek Lively get post touches. Like the only ones posting up are the Jokic, the Bams, the Anthony Davis, Sengun, Porzingis, but he's more with the mismatches. Those type of guys. So Wemby's only having to guard those guys in the post because they're not going to give the bad offensive players post touches. That's just not how the NBA works anymore. So if he can't guard them in the post, that would make him by default a not good post defender. because we're not measuring him by his ability to guard Daniel Gafford in the post. Like we're just not doing that unless we are.
Yeah, we are. I'm measuring him against everybody on the block.
But Daniel Gafford isn't posting up. So
when he gets the ball down there, when he gets the ball down there in any way, whether it's on a roll or whatever, like you have to be able to defend that.
And it's not just and Mars, it's not just relegated to when you have the basketball. I got to keep you off the glass. I got to deal with you when you're on the block, when you're in when you're in the mid post. You might set a screen. I still have to deal with you in that area, as opposed to just dealing with you one-on-one on the block. Now, when I'm dealing with you one-on-one on the block, when you don't have the ball, there's other things that I have to deal with. Now, I understand. Yeah. Now, I understand. Mars, I understand.
Well, now we're getting away from off. No, we're getting away from on-ball defense.
That's what I was about to say. This is exactly what I was going to. I understand your logic about being off the basketball and help defense, all of that. When they throw the ball into Daniel Gafford in the post, they're not throwing the ball into Daniel Gafford the same way they're throwing the ball into Sengun, where he goes after him. But they are throwing him the ball in the post, just like Derek Lively. When they throw Derek Lively the ball in the post, they're not throwing him the basketball in the post like they do Julius Randle, where they want him to go to work. But I still have to deal with him as such. And when I do, what am I doing? I still got to keep him away from the basket. How do I do that? What does Wemby do? Wemby's got to body this guy. Not only does Wemby have to body this guy, he's got to stay in front of him. Is he doing that on a consistent basis throughout the league? I ain't talking about Joel Embiid. I ain't talking about Joker. I ain't talking about Cat. I'm not talking about the better bigs in the league. I'm talking about consistently, night in and night out. Is he able to stay in front of a guy consistently and make it difficult on them when they have the ball in that area? That's the question. And when I watch Wemby, when he plays against Chet, when Chet has him on the block, he's not lunch against Chet. No, he is not. When he plays on the block and he's going up against Anthony Davis does not make him a bucket of extra crispy. Now, Anthony Davis will score on him, but he's not lunch. I didn't see him be lunch when he plays against Anthony Davis. In terms of him being an on-ball defender, is he going to get better? I do think he's going to get better.
Daniel Gafford posted up Wemby twice this year. He scored both times.
The entire time that they played.
Yes, because he doesn't post up. It was 2 occasions. One time, I watched both of them. They played. It was one game in Washington. He got 1 post up, and it was because he ended up setting a pick and roll. He got a deep steal. He got the catch. He went up. He drew a foul. That was the first one. The other one was in Dallas, where someone threw an entry pass over the top, and the offense kind of fizzled out. So Daniel Gafford had to go and try and create something. He backed Wemby all the way inside the restricted area and scored over the top. He posted him up twice and scored both times.
Right.
Hey, this is
Daniel Gafford.
Daniel's really not that bad when he gets the ball down there too. He has one of the better. I'm not Mars. I'm not saying this. This has nothing to do with Wemby. I'm just strictly talking about Daniel Gafford. Daniel Gafford is actually, when he gets the ball down there, he has one of the higher field goal percentages in the NBA, right?
Because of dunks.
Right. Well, and other guys playing shots.
But not because of post ups.
No, it's not.
No, I'm talking. I'm not talking.
I didn't say that. I'm not talking about.
When he gets the ball down there, he finishes.
I'm not talking about just posting up though, chill. I said that a minute ago. It's like I don't care how you get the ball, or if you get the ball in the mid range and attack, or if you get it posting up on the block. It's all the same to me. You gotta be able to guard him at the free throw line. You gotta be able to guard him under the basket. I'm not having this conversation just about 5 feet from the rim. I'm talking about all over the floor. You need to be able to guard your man all over. You know what I mean? So,
Rudy Gobert posted up Wemby 3 times and was 3 for 3.
Yeah, so it's like.
But I've also seen Wemby slap Rudy Gobert shit all over the place.
Yeah, but I'm. This whole point has been around me saying Wemby's not a good post defender, and about how you, Ron, disagreed with me. That's what I'm talking about post defense, right?
I still disagree. I gave you my reasons. I said because
it sounded to me, Mars, from the numbers that you're talking about. It sounds like guys score on Wemby on the block more than often, way more.
Well, this is me watching. I'm watching.
That's what it sounds like.
He just bit on a Rudy Gobert pump fake and got dunked on. I'm watching it happen right now. Like, I don't know how you watched Wemby play and said, yeah, good post defender. It's not adding up. I could go to the numbers. His numbers in the post are worse than Valanciunas. They're worse than Jokic. They're worse than whoever you want to come up with. I could go to that. I'm talking about the fact that he's getting cooked by Rudy Gobert right now. That's what I'm talking about.
I already said. I think Giannis is a better post defender than Wemby.
Yeah, me and Ox are on the same. Like we're on a similar page when it comes to the post defense. Ron is the one who's just wrong. Like that's where
I can be wrong. I gave you my reasons. If I got to choose between Valanciunas and Wemby in the post as a defender, I want Wemby.
But Giannis is so much stronger though, Ron. Like,
yeah, I get that. And
Wemby's
so much taller, longer, and can
yeah, but Ron, but
shots.
you know, on the block, the main thing. If I'm guarding a guy like, I don't know, maybe we'll use them, Joel or somebody, DeMontis or somebody on the block, right? The main thing I'm trying to do is get them off the block. I just don't want you to catch the ball too deep. That's the
Wemby
first
ain't
thing.
strong enough
If
to
I
do
can't,
that.
and that's what I'm saying. If I can't
Wemby
front
ain't
the
strong enough
post,
to do that
if I can't front the post, which isn't the thing I'm seeing a lot, if I can't front you or at least half front you, you know, and deter the guard from even dropping it down in here, then I'm pushing you off the block as far as I can. Jonas can do that. On top of that, if you do catch the ball, I'm trying to make it uncomfortable for you. I'm not trying to let you drop step. I'm not trying to make you. And how do I do that? I'm staying low. I'm getting under you. I'm getting that forearm, you know, low on your back. I'm trying to make it uncomfortable for you. Wemby can't really do that at this point. So he's relying on just being vertical. Whereas a guy like Domantas Sabonis, I'm putting my shoulder in your chest, so make you fold a little bit, getting that little hook over the top of you. You can do that to guys like Wemby and Chet, because these guys just aren't strong enough yet. That's why I feel like as a post defender, I'm looking for a guy like Joel, a guy like Jonas, a guy that's stronger.
The sheer size.
The size, the mass, you know, their weight. Because I'm not gonna, you know, I don't want somebody getting pushed under the rim. These other guys, yeah, he might be 7'3", but these guys are 6'11", 7 feet tall. So it's like, you're not that big to me. Once I get you under the rim, I'm boom, right up over the top. You know what I mean? So I need a guy that's stronger than that.
I thought he fared well against Giannis. He wasn't terrible against Giannis. I thought he was. He looked solid as a rook. I think he did as good as a rook could do against Giannis.
I thought he fared well against all of these guys. Like even
Giannis posted him up once.
Even
I don't think he's a bad defender, Ron. I didn't say I think he's a bad defender. I just think Giannis is better on the block. That's all.
Even the Joel game, and I don't remember it bucket for bucket, but we know Joel's game. A lot of those buckets wasn't just him bullying Wemby and just dunking on him.
Yes, they were, Ron. Yes, they were.
A lot of it was face up stuff. But
yes,
but that's because post ups don't happen a lot generally. Like,
so that's what I want to ask.
None of these guys are defending a bunch of post ups.
These numbers that you're reading. Are they? Does that mean you caught the ball back to the basket, close to the rim, or is this showing him maybe catching the ball
backing down a defender to get a shot off? It depends. Some people catch it 8
So that's a small sample size.
Because post ups are dying around the league. He's not.
But Mars, if I'm guarding Giannis or Joel and they catch the ball at the free throw line and open up and face me and make a move and finish like above the,
that would be isolation.
Right, see, but that's post defense too.
Isolate. I'm gonna read numbers because I'm bored of trying to explain it by what I'm watching. Valanciunas gives up 0.846 points per possession in the post, so basically 0.85. Wemby gives up 1 point per possession in the post,
so a bucket.
Basically, people shoot 50% on him in the post, which is not good. For comparison, Jokic is at about 0.9.
Right.
If I look it up, we've got where am I? Rudy's at 0.75, Anthony Davis is at 0.58, Bam is at 0.68. Like, he's by far the worst statistically. Now, none of them are defending a bunch of post-ups because no one's really posting up in the NBA. Like, if you look at it on a per game basis, none of them are even defending one post-up a game because no one posts up anymore. But Wemby is not a good post defender by numbers, by people whose eye test works. He's not a good post defender. Like, he just isn't. But he's still a great defender and still one of the 5 best defenders in the league. In
the other aspects of his defense.
But that doesn't mean you're good at everything. I think there's some guys who are really good on-ball defenders who are not good off-ball defenders. I think I can say that without saying that they're a horrible defender. I think it's the same thing. Wemby's a really great defender. He's just not a good post defender. I think I should be able to say
which
that.
Is very important if you get which is very important, Mars. If I'm going to be a big, I need to be able to defend on the box.
Not really.
I know what you're saying. The idea that, you know, a lot of guys don't really play on the block as much, but guys are going to go to that. I watch the 76ers when they get in the meat and potatoes of games. They do go to Joel Embiid. They try to get him on the block. Same thing with Anthony Davis. They try to get him on the box. Joker, as much as Joker plays on the perimeter as the distributor that he is, as a playmaker that he is, when we get into the meat and potatoes of the games, Joker is 8 feet, 6 feet away from the basket. He's on that right block, and he's working. That's where he's getting a lot of his action from when we get into the meat and potatoes of the game, which means that as a big and as a defender, I need to be able to at least defend on the box. Sure, I can roam. Sure, I can protect the rim. Yes, I can do those things. I can rebound also. But I do have to do my job. So when you asked me earlier, it sounds like you have a problem with switching. That goes back to what I meant earlier when I said, when I got cut off, that I have to deal with my matchup. So if I'm a 5-man, I'm dealing with a 5-man. I shouldn't be switched on to a lead guard. That's not my job. You get screened, get around the screen. I'm going to open up. I'm going to give you enough room to get around that screen. You should be able to stay with him. You should be able to stay in front of him once you get around that. If I'm a 5-man, if I'm Wemby, if I'm Joker, if I'm Joel Embiid, if I'm Cat, I shouldn't be switched on to a 2-guard regularly. If I got to deal with, I don't know, Julius Randle, Mars, that's my matchup. I have to deal with him, specifically have to deal with him. And I got to deal with him all night long. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about switching. I don't have a problem with switching when Joker is on the floor with, I don't know, DeAndre Jordan, and he gets switched on to Christian Wood. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. But when I watch Damian Lillard and Brook Lopez switching, that's a problem for me because you two shouldn't be switching. You should still be dealing with your matchup as opposed to you handing it off to somebody else. Take pride in your matchup. And a lot of these guys, I don't think they do because I feel like switching is the easy way out.
Wemby only had to defend 57 post-ups this year. Like
57.
57 post-ups. Valanciunas was 52. Like,
but Mark,
not a lot of post-ups.
And why is that? Go ahead, Ox. I'm sorry.
Well, isn't that still like, that's what I was trying to ask you a minute ago. What is a post up in the numbers that you're looking at?
Not the face up stuff you was alluding. Actually backing down your defender, getting to a jumper,
I'm getting the ball on the block,
or a drop step, or a dunk. That's what it is. The face up stuff would be an isolation.
Right. Okay. And see, that's where it's at right there because like you've been saying, you've been alluding to, the game has just changed. So it's not so much on the block anymore as much as it is catching it 12 feet, 10 feet. Like Giannis, for instance, you might not see a lot of post touches, but it's still post work because he's just catching it, opening up in the mid post or at the free throw line and attacking. Yeah. So I think that's very important to figure out too. How is Wemby guarding that? How is he guarding that? Is he guarding that better
points per possession? 0.94 points per possession. Valanciunas is 0.745.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think J Val's a better defender around the basket than Wemby is, just because of strength and maybe experience too. But I still think that Wemby, I think he provides something still. That's all.
No, he definitely provides something, especially when he's not being backed down because his length is able to bother people. The issue about Wemby's length is when he gets back down. When Wemby gets back down and pushed under the rim, his length doesn't become a non-factor because he's still able to alter shots. But it becomes less of a factor because he's been pushed underneath the basket. So he's less able to alter shots. He's still able to do it, but that's why he gets scored on in the post as much as he does. Now, when people face him up and they do the Embiid face-up jab step or they try jab and go and he's still in front of you, then his length becomes more of a factor, which is why his numbers in isolation are better than his post numbers. They're still worse than Jonas Valanciunas. But no one in their right mind would say Valanciunas is a better defender than Wemby.
No, you're not saying.
But when it comes to guarding bigs on the ball,
on the block,
you could make the argument he's better because all of Wemby's value comes from everything outside of his on-ball defense. Like, okay, not all of it. 96.7% of Wemby's value on defense comes from everything he does away from guarding one-on-one matchups. That should be just seen as the reality, but I guess it's not. And for the fact that poll had 44% of people picking Wemby as a better post defender than Valanciunas, respectfully, 44% of you just are waffling. Respectfully.
But good job, y'all.
Maybe they just see it different than you, Mars. That's all.
No, they just don't watch.
The data matters.
All right, y'all. I gotta step in.
100% matters.
And salute everybody that's in here right now. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the Players Choice channel. Make sure you guys are dialed in and ready for the PCL tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Mars will be kicking off against Jack Cody, a good old 1-16 matchup. That will start the PCL playoffs, and then we'll have 3 more matchups after that. And then on Sunday, we'll come back from 4 more highly touted matchups in the PCL playoffs. So y'all be sure to be locked in because it is going to be a wild ride to the championship and to the Final Four as well. I also got to shout out our Hall of Famers. You guys know I got to do this right here and right now. Shout out to my man Dorian Clayton. He's somewhere in the chat doing what he does best, being the Hall of Famer that he is. Cobra Son of Raditz, what's up with your boy? How you living, my man? Would love to have you come up for a Hall of Fame Friday at some moment in time. Multi Kenny, y'all know the face, y'all know the name. Salute to Multi Kenny. Kendall Daniels, once again, y'all know the face, y'all know the name, y'all know his game. Shout out to Kendall. Arch, shout out to you too, man. Whenever you're ready to come up here, just reach out to me. You know where to find me. And if you don't, hit me up on Instagram. You can hit up any of the Players' Choice socials, or you could just join the Telegram group chat and come find me directly in there. Jerryality, what's up? It's been a long time since we've seen you. You are a Hall of Famer. Your voice matters here in the Players' Choice community. Let's catch up with you this Friday if possible. And also, Hutton Gilgores, shout out to you, our newest Hall of Famer. You are indeed a Hall of Famer and a GOAT. Salute to you as well. We got a couple super chats. Then we're going to go ahead and switch gears and then ultimately continue to have a good show.
Brax, you still don't know what a two-way, after all that stuff we just did, you still don't know what a two-way player is?
Brax is hard-headed. You know how Brax is. He is a certified bandit.
Mars, you still not clear on what a two-way player is, Mars? Still?
No. But I just don't use the term. So
let's take two-way player out. Mars, are you clear on what a complete player is, Mars? How about that?
Yeah, someone who's good at everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take
you said Anthony Edwards is a top 20 defender in the NBA.
I did say that.
Why did you say that?
Why did I say that?
Yeah, well, do you actually believe that?
I was thinking about the guys that the all league guys. Let's see. I had the all league guys, and then of the all league guys, I was thinking about other guys in the league. Can I name 20 guys that are undisputed better defenders than Anthony Edwards? And one of the guys, I was thinking, Giannis. I thought about the all league. I thought about the all league defensive team, and those 10 guys. Does he play at that level? Is he just as good a defender as Suggs? I don't think Suggs is that much. I don't think Suggs is that much better of a defender than Anthony Edwards. I don't think so. I do think Anthony Edwards has some holes in his game, but defensively, I think athletically, him being able to block shots, him being able to close out, also not just him being able to close out, also with him as a one-on-one defender, I think he does a really good job of getting around screens, just like Suggs does. I think he's a damn good on-ball defender, particularly further away from the basket. I don't think he's Alex Caruso good. I don't think he's Lou Dort good. I don't think he's Drew Holiday good. But I do think that he's better than most. But we're talking about the top 20. We're talking about 20 guys. And when I think about Anthony Edwards, specifically as a defender, I don't see that there are many guys who he doesn't do what they do. I'll give you Evan Mobley. I'll give you Giannis. We already talked about the 10 guys on the all-league defense.
Is he better than Jimmy Butler?
I think he's a better defender than Jimmy Butler. Yes, I do think that.
Okay.
I think Jimmy
Jimmy 0 for 1 on agreements right now.
I think Jimmy Butler is more physical than him. And I think Jimmy Butler, a lot of the stuff that Jimmy Butler does, it's because of his age and he's just smarter. And I think that helps him. But I don't think Jimmy Butler beats guys to spots like Anthony Edwards does. I don't think Jimmy Butler is the on-ball defender that Anthony Edwards is today. We ain't talking about 5 years ago. We're talking about today. We're talking about in 2024. Yeah. I don't think he's the on-ball defender that Anthony Edwards is. I don't think he shot blocks like Anthony Edwards does. I don't think that. And I think Buckets is smarter than him. And I think a lot of stuff that Buckets does is primarily based on him being around and him just being crafty. I think that the athleticism has gone and waned from him. So I'm not putting Jimmy Butler ahead of Anthony Edwards as a defender. Not today, I'm not.
Okay, so we disagree, but that's fine. So Bam is better, right?
Bam is a better defender than Anthony Edwards.
Is Scotty Barnes better?
I think that's a. I'll give Scotty the edge. I will. Okay. I'll give
Is
Scotty
Joel
the
Embiid
edge.
better?
Joel Embiid's a better rim protector. Joel Embiid is better around the rim. I think for what Anthony Edwards does, it's hard rating bigs and smalls, though. It is. But
you know Rudy Gobert's a better defender than him.
I do know that. I'll give Joel Embiid the edge. I don't love it, but I'll give Joel Embiid the edge.
Is Jonathan Isaac better?
In the limited time that he plays, yes.
You said Giannis, right?
I did say Giannis, yes.
Okay. Evan Mobley, you said, right?
I did say Evan Mobley.
Jarrett Allen?
I don't know if I'll put Jarrett Allen ahead of Anthony Edwards. I'm not sure that I'm going to put Jarrett Allen. I think he's a better rim protector. I think he's a better around the basket. But I think for what Anthony Edwards does as a point of attack defender, being on the perimeter, having to deal with, and I'm an advocate of bigger guys. I think it's harder to guard on the block than it is on the perimeter. But I think that Anthony Edwards, I think he's better on the perimeter than Jarrett Allen is on the block.
Interesting. Jason Tatum?
No.
No who? Ant's better or Jason Tatum's better?
I think Jason Tatum is a better defender than Anthony Edwards.
Jaylen Brown?
Him too.
Okay. Caruso?
Yes, Caruso is better. So the guys on the all-league defensive team, those 10 guys, take them off the floor because I think those guys are better.
Mikal Bridges?
Yes. I'll give Mikal Bridges the edge.
Jaren Jackson?
I don't love Jaren Jackson as a defender. I don't. I think Jaren Jackson is he's what you say about Wemby as a rim protector. That's what I think he is. I don't think he rebounds it nearly as well. Not only does he not rebound it as a big guy, I think he fouls a lot, and I think his basketball IQ as a defender isn't very good. I don't.
What about OG?
OG Anunoby?
Yes.
I think his versatility may give him the edge over Anthony Edwards. Maybe.
I mean, obviously, we got Jaden McDaniels and Herb Jones. They're better. So
yes.
That would be okay. Draymond Green.
Today? No,
yes.
Mars. I don't think Draymond Green's a better defender than Anthony Edwards today. Not today, I don't. I don't think so, Mars. Not today.
Okay.
I know what he provides. I do know what he provides.
I don't think you do. I do.
I 100% know what he provides.
I don't think you do.
He's the linebacker of that defense. Yes, he is. He's the Lawrence Taylor. He's the Aaron Donald of that defense. He's the signal caller. He calls out switches. He does all of that other stuff. But when I think about a guy in Anthony Edwards, strictly as a one-on-one defender, point of attack, beating guys to spots, being able to switch on a perimeter, 1, 2, even 3. I don't think I can't say Draymond is better than him today. I don't think so.
Okay, so yeah, another one we vehemently disagree on, but
okay.
That's fine. Shea.
I think Shea by a hair.
So you think Shea's a better defender than Draymond Green?
I don't love Shea, but I no, you could be better than this person and not better than that person, Mars. That's not true. Let's chill out. Mars. Let's relax on that. You could be better than this dude, but not better. We've already been over this, Mars. 100%. We've already been over this.
So Anthony Edwards is better than Draymond Green on defense. Shea is better than Anthony Edwards on defense, but Draymond Green is better than Shea.
Olajuwon was better than David Robinson. He wasn't better than Jordan. It's that simple, Mars.
Yeah, but David Robinson wasn't better than Jordan either.
Right. That's the point.
That doesn't make sense.
Oh my God, Mars.
That doesn't make sense. Okay, let me say it in slow motion. I don't know.
Please.
If you think Anthony Edwards is better than Draymond Green on defense,
I do think he's better than him.
Okay, you think Shea is better than Anthony Edwards on defense?
They're around the same.
Yes.
So if you want
then you can't think Draymond Green is better than Shea on defense since he's not better than Anthony Edwards, who's already worse than Shea.
That's fair.
So that means you think Shea is better on defense than Draymond Green.
Yep.
Damn. Okay.
Well, wait. Because look, if we can put SGA in this conversation, you know where I'm going with this.
I don't know where you're going with this.
I need to know about.
He's getting to
going down each team. So far we've got, I want to say about 15, Nick. Check.
Today, I don't think he's better.
Yesterday, last week.
I don't think he's better than Anthony Edwards as a defender today.
Okay.
No.
Hey, now, I was saying about it.
I want to understand again.
Now
so the wait.
Ludor. Like I said, he's on the all-league defense. Those guys on the all-league
didn't make it. Ludor didn't make it.
Are you sure?
99% sure Ludor didn't make it.
This season? He made it last season. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Ludor's better. Or no?
I don't know if you want Ludor, I'm not taking Ludor over Anthony Edwards. But
okay, you're not. So you think OKC's two best defenders are Alex Caruso and Shea?
I do.
Anthony Davis. Oh no, he made all defense team. Okay, Anthony Davis. Kawhi.
Yes.
Okay, we're getting close to 20. De'Aaron Fox.
No.
Sorry, I asked.
No.
And then
what about Keegan? Did we get to Keegan yet?
Yeah, Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray.
No.
Interesting.
Yo, what are you guys? Wait. Stop right there.
Mike Brown.
We're talking about defense. What are we talking about when we talk about defense? How do you value a guy defensively?
Guarding on the ball, versatility, off the ball, getting through screens, communication, breakdowns, defensive playmaking, steals and stuff. Not making mistakes. Covering up your teammates' mistakes.
Sure. Covering up your own, also being able to recover.
Ideally, not making the mistakes in the first place, but
right. But when you do, you're not going to.
If you can recover on your own mistakes, that'll be valuable. Yes, defensive rebounding, not fouling, positioning.
Yep.
That would be a lot of it. That's probably like minor things in terms of like playing defense at the nail, but like just in terms of generalities, those would be the main things probably. Anthony Edwards is probably Matisse Thybulle.
I think Matisse is a better on-ball defender. I think
on, off, everything. But I mean, I don't know anymore because I'm
Matisse play better defense than Ant from the bench.
Relax, man. Chill out.
I think Matisse clears, but
so you think he's clearly a better defender?
I think you're so far off on Anthony Edwards' defense that it's not even fun. Like that's genuinely how I feel. You're way off on your estimation of him. Like way like a mentor.
I think he's better than him, Mars. Yes, today I think he's both of those guys. I think he's better than both of those guys today. Now, is that true in the future? But I do think today, I think he's better than he better than all of them dudes on Houston defensively. And I'm a big time Jabari fit. Better than Brooks too. He better than all of them dudes on the perimeter.
I just genuinely think you're way off. I mean,
maybe I'm overvaluing Ant. Maybe that.
I think you're overvaluing point of attack on ball defense. That's what I think. He's not even that primary. You think he's a better defender than Nikhil Alexander Walker?
Yes, I do think that.
Yeah, we just disagree. Shout out, but yeah.
So De'Aaron be taking the ball from dudes. He makes you turn 4 or 5 times. He gets up under defenders. He's strong. He's strong even when he gets mismatched on bigs. He provides a lot of resistance. I don't know.
And I won't that part. I won't argue. I won't argue that. I think De'Aaron Fox is one of the better defensive, not guards, but players in the game. I definitely won't argue that. But when I think about a point of attack defender in Anthony Edwards, when I think about, like you just said, he rips guys in the open floor. He turns guys. Not only does he rip guys in the open floor and turn guys, his ability at the rim to block shots, his ability to deter guys from the rim. Maybe I might, like I said, be overvaluing him. But from what I've seen and maybe what I think he's gonna be, as opposed to what he is now, that may be what I'm doing. But what I do know is I was having a difficult time. This was yesterday. I was having this conversation. I was having a difficult time coming up with 20 guys better than Anthony Edwards as a defender. I was having a difficult time with that.
If Anthony Edwards is a top 20 defender in the league, I don't know how you don't think he's better than Donovan Mitchell. But I don't know. Shout out to Anthony Edwards. Yeah.
Chill. I will say this though. Anthony Edwards really opened my eyes to his defensive abilities in the playoffs. I did not think he was that good of a defender. He showed me in the playoffs, and in large part, a lot of that is due to his team, but we can't judge him in any other scope because that's the team he plays for. So he's going to be able to play defense within the concept and the schemes that his team.
We can
provides.
say that about a lot of guys, Ron. A lot of guys that are on great defensive teams, right? We can say that about how good they are because you're on a great defensive team. We don't know what you would look like if you was on a team that was inferior. We don't know what you would look like. I just think Anthony Edwards defensively, I think that translates whether he's in Minnesota or if he was in Washington, he'd still be a damn good defender.
Well, I'm not knocking him for that at all. I'm saying some people might say that to try to shade him.
Yep.
What I seen in the playoffs, I loved every bit of it. He was picking up cats full court. He was turning guys. He made it tough on guys. He put Jamal Murray in a box. Now it was him, it was Nikhil, it was a little bit of Jaden too. But what Ant was doing, it was nothing short of spectacular. I didn't know he had that. Well, I knew he had the athletic ability. I just didn't know he was actually going to apply himself and do that. So I'm a lot higher on Ant right now than I was. I'll give Ant maybe top 30, 35. I think that's a good area. But sure, you got to understand it's guys like, and I'm going to go strictly to Matisse Thybulle because he is a specialist, and that's what he does. Jonathan Isaac, he is a specialist. Herb Jones, he's a specialist. That's what these guys do. You got your all defensive guys, the guys that are on that list, and then you got another 10 to 15 guys that is just what they're out there to do, is to put you in a box and lock you up. And I don't think Anthony supersedes any of those guys.
Y'all gonna put some respect on Keegan Murray after this season.
I think Keegan's better. I think Najee Marshall is better. I think Derrick Jones is better. I think PJ Washington is better.
Derrick Jones.
Shout out to Anthony Edwards, man. Shout out to Anthony Edwards.
When he's dialed in, though, it's a problem on defense.
He's a good he's a good on-ball defender. He's egregious on defense, off the ball. He's egregious. Like, he's actively bad away from the ball.
What?
Like, that means something.
We can say the same thing about Kawhi Leonard.
I can't say that. He wasn't bad.
He just say that about Leonard.
He was not bad off the ball.
Yes, he was
not bad.
Yes,
I don't know
what's
going on with Chill Time right now. Kawhi was not bad off the ball on defense.
You could catch Kawhi with his head turned. You could catch Kawhi.
He hurting his team? No.
Anthony Edwards is not bad off the ball, Mars.
Oh, we disagree. I told you, there's a disconnect here. You see Anthony Edwards in this.
Maybe I might be overvaluing him. Maybe I might be.
I do want to say, though, a lot of guys do get cooked off ball, and a lot of guys get cooked on ball too. That's just a part of defense. Like Mars, so I'm gonna get to the question that I wanted to ask you earlier. I was trying to get in there and ask you, but it was a lot of back and forth going on. But a lot of these guys get cooked off ball. A lot of guys get backdoored. A lot of guys get, caught on screens and stuff like that. It's just a part of defense. It's hard to guard guys on offense. And a lot of these so-called defenders, I was just talking about Alex Caruso. Alex would get his ass busted on any given possession. And that doesn't necessarily take away from you as a defender. But I'm saying when you're playing defense, you're going to give up something.
Yep.
I don't judge a defender by if they get scored on. If you can play great defense and get scored on, that doesn't mean you play bad defense. I judge a defender by if they're playing bad defense. You can play horrible defense and the guy misses. I'm not gonna be like, oh, good defense, they missed.
Yeah.
I don't judge defense by the outcome. Right. Yeah, the defense. You know how many times he loses someone and they don't get the ball? Like, that's still horrible defense. They just didn't get punished for it.
And we can say that about a bunch of different guys.
Not as much as you can say about Anthony Edwards, but
we can say that about a bunch of different guys.
Not as much as you can say about
they lose their man and get caught backdoor. There's plenty of guys we can say that about.
Not as much as Anthony Edwards. And the ones who are more than Anthony Edwards probably are worse defenders than him, if it happens more.
Mars, let me ask you this. I got two questions to ask you. The second question is a little more important, but the first question, what about, a guy like Anthony Edwards, I consider him a defensive playmaker. I consider, especially off the ball, I consider him, he's one of those guys similar to D-Wade. I want you out there gambling. I want you to go and block shots. Off ball, I want you to just be a roamer in general. Go ahead and make a play, make something happen. So how much do you take away? Like, obviously, that's gonna lead to guys getting open. That's gonna lead to you missing assignments, rotations. That's gonna lead to people backdooring you, all of that good stuff, giving up open threes. But he will go and get a steal. He will get a deflection. He will get a block. He will make things happen. How much of the bad outweighs the good?
I don't think Ant's as good of a playmaker as you think. But I think if someone's role is to be a defensive playmaker, That was Matisse Thybulle's role in Portland. A lot of what he was doing wasn't about on-ball defense, about him making plays. They used him in some ridiculous. Like, so I can understand that. I just don't think that's what Anthony Edwards is. But if someone's role on the defense is to play that free safety role, go get steals, make plays, deflections, just kind of like just blow up actions, I understand that's a different value than someone who's a point of attack stopper. I understand that's different than someone who has to chase people over screens. I can understand that. But if you're bad at that role and you end up just providing more negativity than positivity, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, that's his role. No, ideally, you have to still provide positive value in that role. Him losing people on back cuts, him just actively just not guarding people off the ball, him not really making as many plays on defense as I think you think, him not blocking as many shots as you probably think. Like, I don't think he's that much of a... Like, De'Aaron Fox is more of a defensive playmaker than Anthony Edwards. Shea is more of a defensive playmaker than Anthony Edwards. Asar Thompson is more of a defensive playmaker than Anthony Edwards. Amen Thompson is more of a defensive playmaker than Anthony Edwards.
I'll give you both of them.
Are you saying off the ball, or are you saying overall, Mars?
Well, when we talk about
when I think about Thompson,
forcing turnovers,
yes, this is what I'm
talking
about.
Blocking shots, like those type of things. Those guys will make more plays in that regard than Anthony Edwards does.
Maybe, like I said, maybe I'm overvaluing Anthony Edwards because from what I see a guy that's disruptive in the open floor. I see a guy that's picking up full court. I see a guy that's turning a guy 2.
You saw him do that for 4 weeks in the playoffs. He wasn't.
I did not, Mars. In fact, we actually had this.
He wasn't even a point of attack defender. He wasn't a point of attack defender in the regular season.
I ain't even talking about this season. I'm talking about last year when we had this conversation where he was becoming great. When I said that I need to see you when you're not just the postseason. He
wasn't an on-ball defender in the regular season. Last year or this year.
True, Mars.
Jaden McDaniels was that point of attack.
He was the point of attack on his guy. That wasn't always the case.
Jaden McDaniels guarded the team's best offensive player on the perimeter.
Not all the time.
Anthony Edwards was not a point of attack defender.
That's not true, Mars, because you just told me not 20 minutes ago that we have switches. Now, that might be his primary defender, but I'm 100% confident.
Switching is not point of attack. That's why I'm not. Point of attack is your primary matchup.
Switching is 100% a point of attack. Let me tell you why, Mars.
That's switching. That's different.
And let me tell you why, Mars. Because when I see Jaden McDaniels in the backcourt with, I don't know, De'Aaron Fox, and he gets screened, and Anthony Edwards now has to pick this guy up because Jaden McDaniels. And who was
De'Aaron Fox's matchup? Jaden McDaniels.
That's what I just said. Matchup, but
the Timberwolves lined up with Jaden McDaniels guarding teams' primary offensive players. That's how they lined up. Anthony Edwards would take them sporadically in possessions because of switches or in closing lineups where he would actually take that on-ball assignment and everyone, he guarded Jason Tatum in the clutch. Ooh. But generally, Jaden McDaniels was taking those matchups. That's how the Timberwolves line up. Generally, Jaden McDaniels is their number 1 point of attack defender throughout the season. Anthony Edwards will take assignments during crunch time or on switches, but primarily it's Jaden McDaniels. That's how the Timberwolves line up. Anthony Edwards plays more off the ball, especially in the regular season, than he does on the ball. In the playoffs, he takes more of a defensive load on the ball. But generally for the Wolves, Jaden McDaniels is their primary point of attack. Anthony Edwards will switch on occasion, and in crunch lineups or in situations where Jaden McDaniels is in foul trouble, Anthony Edwards will take assignments, but he's not their primary point of attack assignment. That's not his role. Well, I don't think switching is point of attack defense. I don't. That's switching. It's just not the same thing.
Even if it's not the same thing. You just mentioned to me not 20 minutes ago about the versatility of the NBA, and I watched Anthony Edwards, who has to deal with Tyrese Halliburton. When I watch him having to deal with Jamal Murray, these guys are primary ball handlers. And when he's covering them, they are bringing the ball up, which would make him the point of attack defender for his team at that particular time. Now, I understand that Jaden McDaniels is covering Kyrie Irving. I understand that Jaden McDaniels may be covering LeBron James. But Anthony Edwards also has to deal with Jamal Murray. Anthony Edwards, who is their primary ball handler. Anthony Edwards also has to deal with Tyrese Halliburton. He also has to deal with Jalen Brunson. He will deal with these guys in games, throughout games, when it's at half court, when it's in full court. And when I saw him, not just this playoffs, but when I saw him last year, not just in the playoffs, when he started picking up guys full court, when he started becoming more of an on-ball defender, when he became better at beating guys to spots. That's when I started paying more attention to him, not just as a point of attack defender, but as a defender. It got amplified last year when they played against the Lakers in the play-in tournament where he wasn't shooting the basketball very well, and he started to pick up James full court, and he started to pick up any other primary ball handler that they had and started to make more plays defensively. And that translated over to this year that we just had when he actually started doing that more, and then into the playoffs. So when I watch Anthony Edwards as a defender, do I think that I'm overvaluing him? Maybe you guys might think so, but I think he's a lot better defender than I gave him credit for. A lot better.
I think Ant's solid on defense. The thing about Ant, it's kind of like with Draymond's passing ability. It's Draymond's willingness to pass and make, because a lot of the passes I don't think are very difficult. I think they're pretty obvious, passes. With Ant, it's more so his willingness to compete on the defensive end, as well as his athletic ability, size, and strength to be able to compete with guys that are bigger than him. And that's what I value in Ant. That's what I admire in Ant, is his hunger to play defense. I don't think he's as good as a defender as some of the guys that you said he was better than Chill, but that's just a difference of opinion. No big deal.
All right, y'all. My man Jake Fascion sent through a $25 super chat. And he wants us to do a start bench cut. Ironically, Jake, you must have a crystal ball or something, because we will be talking a lot about these three guys on Thursday when we do our shooting guard list. Top 10 all-time shooting guards, that is. But he said start bench cut, Dwayne Wade, James Harden, and Allen Iverson. Also, was there any point in D-Wade's career where he was the best player in the league? Let's start with that second question.
No.
Maybe for a month or two.
No.
Oh, if you do it like a power rankings where D-Wade was playing the best at this moment in time, yeah, possibly. But was he actually the best?
It ain't even possibly. It was a couple months where
D-Wade,
for a couple months in 08 and 09 and stuff like that.
If that's how you do it, like this guy's the best right now. Yeah, but like, was he actually the best player in the league? No.
Well, that's how I have to do it, so I can show D-Wade a little love, because if I don't do it that way, then it's a hard no. But
that doesn't take away from how awesome he was. Just because he
was never dominant. So
he was.
Hey, D-Wade might not have ever been the best player in the league, but whoever was the best player in the league in that moment in time, whichever select few guys you want to choose, none of them wanted it with D-Wade. I'm gonna just put it that way.
That's one thing. See, Brian, usually I'd agree with you, but Bean wanted it with D-Wade every single time.
He did, but he didn't. Like Kobe wasn't running from the D-Wade phase,
bro. He wanted that. He needed that.
No, understand what I'm saying. Kobe wasn't running from D-Wade, but Kobe ain't want them problems. Nobody wanted them D-Wade problems.
Paul Pierce was never better than Dwayne Wade, but he wasn't ducking smoke neither.
Facts, chill.
Yeah, he wasn't ducking smoke neither. No,
he wasn't better than D-Wade. No three.
No.
Bro, what are you talking about? It was times, Paulie was spanking D-Wade. Stop.
And it was times when D-Wade was giving it right back to him.
No, 100%. But there was a good talk. There was time right there where Paulie was spanking all of them, D-Wade and Bean.
That's a top 10 small forward right there.
I better cut it out.
Sorry, Ron.
Paulie was spanking them boys. Melo, D-Wade.
Paul Pierce isn't in this start bench cut. Can we?
He should be.
Flip Harden and Iverson.
Flip Harden and Iverson. So start Dwayne Wade, bench Iverson, cut James. Chill.
Yes.
Basically, Ron, D-Wade's playing 48 minutes and 52 or 53 if we go to overtime.
So, but who's not on the roster? James Harden or Iverson?
Harden.
Yeah, you think Ox was gonna pick Harden?
I mean, I gotta ask. We gotta figure it out. What about you, Mars?
Only one of them don't have an MVP, so cut D-Wade. Yeah, cut D-Wade, and start Iverson bench.
I'm 100% confident I saw David Stern get on the podium and hand Dwayne Wade the MVP. Certain I saw him do that.
I mean, not doing his finals, that's not an MVP.
Oh, it's not
an MVP. Nah,
okay.
Well, only one of them have a Finals MVP.
But that's not enough. That's not enough to be dominant. That's not enough to be dominant.
Only one of them have a ring.
That's not enough. That's not enough to be dominant. That's not enough to be dominant. So start Iverson, bench Harden, cut Wade.
Start Iverson, bench Harden.
Mm-hmm.
See, man, you guys are just contrarians. All right?
Ron, hold on, Ron. This was yesterday. Remember when I told you that Dirk was better than KG? Remember when I said that? That's what this is right now. Mars is fucking with you. He is.
No, I mean, you're gonna see my shooting guard list. You're gonna see where I have AI. You're gonna see where I have James Harden. Because for some reason in 2024, people think Iverson's better than James Harden. So I'm gonna just stick with that.
Facts, Mars. No, I agree with you, Mars, and I'm not gonna go for it with you guys. I'm starting James Harden 100%. There's no way I don't start James Harden. Facts. James Harden will start. He won't play 48 minutes because in the last 3 minutes we need Dwayne Wade to come and finish the game. That's something that James Harden.
So he closing the game out. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
D-Wade's gonna sit on the bench and ice his old ass knees. In the last 3 minutes, come on, D-Wade, come and finish the game. And Allen Iverson, you're just not better offensively than James Harden, and you're not better defensively than Dwayne Wade. And that was a fluke finals run for real because the East was just trashed. So, Allen Iverson, you got to stay home.
Is Iverson a two-way player?
He could have been. He wasn't, though. He
led the league in steals like 17 times. So.
Yes, he did. Was it? I think it was once or twice.
I want to say 4 times, but I might just be making that up.
Something like that. Was Iverson?
Allen Iverson had 3 steals titles.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he did compete on the defensive side of the ball. He did. Was he great? Was he a great on-ball defender? Iverson wasn't ripping you in the open floor. He wasn't doing that. Were teams actively
ripped a couple cats?
Were teams actively hunting Iverson? No, that wasn't going on.
So was he a two-way player?
Yes, but there were better two-way players than Iverson.
So Iverson's a two-way player, but Jokic isn't. Like,
I didn't say Jokic wasn't a two-way player.
From what you weren't here. Okay. You was dealing with your technical issue.
He's not though, Chip.
Joker, yes, he is. Yes, Joker is. Just because I ain't as good as somebody on the defensive side of the ball does not mean that I don't play defense. Yes, Joker.
Two-way just means you play both sides of it.
No, you have to have a standard of how good you are on that side of the floor.
What do you guys constitute as again? Because rebounding is a part of defense.
It's rebounding not,
it's special teams, right?
Yes.
Rebounding is not a part of defense.
No, it's not.
I consider defensive rebounding to be a part of defense. But
I don't think rebounding is a part of defense either.
It's not.
It's a standalone thing. Because here's the thing is, so that means that Hassan Whiteside's an amazing defender.
No, the hell it does not.
No, it does not mean that.
Understand what I'm saying.
It means he's a good defensive rebounder.
And he's good at blocking shots. So if you take those two and put them together, all of a sudden now he's
here. We go with you can be good at a couple things and not be good overall.
He might not be a great defender, but that means he's a solid defender. He
wasn't a negative on defense.
He's a good defender. Okay, if he's an elite rebounder and an elite shot blocker, then he's good on defense.
Hassan Whiteside wasn't.
Hassan Whiteside was a positive on defense.
Yeah, he's a good defender.
But if he's elite in both of those categories, then that means he's very good on defense.
Okay.
Why'd you see now? You're adding more adjectives. Why'd you go from good to
very good? No, Ron.
Hassan Whiteside
was a good defender. Yes, he
was a good defensive player.
Yes, he was.
He was still a horrible player.
Drummond's a good defender.
No,
he's a good rebounder. He's one of the best rebounders the game's ever seen.
Okay. Once again, we're going back to the point of you can be good at parts of something and not be good at it overall.
Yeah,
being a good defensive rebounder is not enough to just be a good defender. But you are a good defensive rebounder. Right. Chet is a really good defender. He's not a good defensive rebounder.
Okay,
are we understanding that?
My thing is, what I'm just trying to say is, I don't think that rebounding and defense is the same thing.
Right? Yeah, that's fine.
And with that being said, I'm fine with y'all.
The last line of defense. Y'all dudes making me crazy. What the hell's going on?
I feel finally agree on something.
Wait a minute, I'm not losing my mind over here.
No, chill. We're together on this one. We agree.
What the hell is happening? I'm out here busting my ass on defense.
We've had this conversation before,
and you shoot the basketball and you miss. Now we got to start this whole thing all over again.
No, you guys don't never rate nobody on defense by their rebounding. Russell Westbrook doesn't get upgraded on defense for his rebounding. We never.
I think it's a part of his defensive value.
Mars, I've never heard you give nobody credit on defense because of their rebound.
Getting rebounds.
When I talk about offensive players, I bring up the value of offensive rebounding. When I talk about defensive players, I bring up the value of defensive rebounding.
I've never heard you bring up somebody's defensive rebounding.
I spoke about Jason Kidd's defensive rebounding all the time.
We've been up here for an hour and 53 minutes. and we've talked about defense the whole episode. Up until this moment in time, you have not said that somebody is a better defender.
Rewind 7 minutes ago when Chill asked me what constitutes a good defender in the Anthony Edwards conversation. I unequivocally said defensive rebounding. Rewind it 8 minutes, Ron. I literally said it. So what are you talking about?
Ron, that's one of the main reasons why. Ron, that's one of the main reasons why I feel like the way I do about Jaren Jackson.
I literally said it.
That's the main reason.
10 minutes ago, Ron.
What are you talking about, Ron? That's the same. That's why I feel that way about Jaren Jackson, because he doesn't rebound at 6'10", because he does not rebound at a high level. We got a defensive player of the year that's averaging 7 rebounds. Get the hell out of here.
Just showed that he just doesn't listen when I talk.
Seven rebounds isn't bad though. But
that's 2 a quarter, Hawks. Get the hell out of here.
It's not bad. When he's playing the power forward, it's not bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. As the 4 man, even though that's my primary responsibility to rebound, because I'm a dirty work guy at the 4, I shouldn't have to rebound because I got a 5 man over
every power forward isn't the dirty work.
Jaren Jackson averaged 5.5 rebounds this year.
Okay, well that's terrible. That's terrible.
4 of them were defensive, so he averaged 4 rebounds a game.
But look,
1 rebound a quarter.
We talked about this before, Chill. I don't care if y'all look at it as defense. That's fine. I'm not here to convince you. I just want to get some understanding here. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like, so you're in the football, Chill. You know, I think you're in the football. Well, maybe you and Ron a little bit more, but I know y'all are more than me and Mars, right? But okay, well maybe you are. I'm not a big football guy. I know a little bit about it though.
Sure.
I look at rebounding like special teams. You know what I mean? Like you got offense, you got defense, you got special teams. Sure. That's just how I look at rebounding. We're trying to, you know what I'm saying? We've our drive down the court. We got to this point. Now, when I'm shooting it, you know what I'm saying? Now it's out of my possession. Now we're either, you know, if we get it back, that's like an onside kick. You know what I'm saying? If you get it, if you rebound it, that's like a punt. You recovered it, now it's your turn. You know what I'm saying? Now you're on offense. When it goes back up, it's special teams. When the ball's out of our hands, it's nobody's ball. You know what I'm saying? It's in the air. You know what I mean? That's just how I look at it. That's the best way I can describe it. But I don't look at defense as now. Obviously, if you get the ball on this side, it's categorized as a defensive rebound because we were playing defense, so it can boost your defense and get you out on the break, or it can boost your offense by giving you an extra possession. But in football, isn't that the same thing too? Like if I kick an onside kick, that boosts our offense. It gives us another possession, an extra possession. But I still don't look at it as offense or defense. And that's not. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just the difference of how we look at the game.
Okay, so real quick, Ox, 2 things. One, on special teams, when you punt the ball, more times than not, I'm getting the ball back.
Right, so, more times than not in basketball, the defense gets the rebound.
And and the difference is that we have to rebound. Think about rebounding like 3rd down. You get to the 3rd down, it's 3rd and 4. If we don't stop these dudes, they get another set of downs. If we don't rebound, the shot clock resets and they get to go again. And now that demoralizes our defense, especially when we're trying to get back in the game. So how important is it to get a stop on 3rd and 4? How important is it to get a rebound in the middle of the 3rd quarter when you're on an 8-0 run and you're trying to get back in this game? That's huge. So when I'm thinking about special teams, I'm going to get the ball back anyway, whether it gets more times than not it gets kicked into the end zone, or it gets kicked out of bounds. I'm not always going to get the rebound. I have to go get the rebound. I have to, and that's the last line. That's the last line of our defense. If I don't get the rebound, they get the ball back and they demoralize my defense because they get to start all over again. And that's more problems for my defense. More opportunity to get another foul on my big man, another opportunity to turn this into a 3-point play. That kind of stuff could happen if we don't rebound.
Well, sure, I don't want us to make it exactly like football. That was just the best way I could separate them. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously not the same exact thing. I understand that, but it's to me like I know dudes that could play really good or really good rebounders, but can't guard their shadow. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? That could play good defense, but didn't know how to box out, didn't know how to get in good position to go get the rebound. And so that's why I separate them for when we talk about it in categories. That's just.
But it is now. You can absolutely separate rebounding, but you have to add it to defense. It's just a separate part of defense because unless we get the ball back, we didn't get a stop. Unless we stop these dudes, that's the only way we're going to stop them. How do you stop guys? You get a steal, they turn the ball over, or you rebound it. That's part of defense. And when you got guys like an Andre Drummond, when you got guys who offensive rebound, when you got guys like Mitchell Robinson who offensive rebound, if I can't keep this guy off the glass defensively, I'm killing us. Because
but if I get a steal, and I've actually played defense and deterred you from doing something. If I get the rebound, that's just me rebounding. I didn't stop you from doing anything.
Yes, you did. You stopped me from scoring, Ox. That's exactly
what you just missed the shot.
Right. And those
two things can be the same, but they're not always the same thing.
But what you just did, Ox, was you just gave me what you did was you just took away another opportunity for me to score. But if we didn't rebound, but if we did, that's part of it.
It can be. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Like I'm fine with that. I just look at it as separate things. You know what I mean? Especially because a lot of times when we're rebounding, it might be two of us going to the glass and somebody leaking out. They're not playing defense no more. You know what I mean? But it's cool. Like I said, either way, I'm not really I'm not really tripping. Like as far as it's not that big a deal. I just don't look at it the same way.
I brought up Joker real quick, Ron. I brought up Joker because Joker is one of the best rebounders in the game. Joker also in the post, he digs. Not only does Joker dig, Joker will push bodies around. Not only will Joker push bodies around, he will be in position at the end to defensive rebound. So when I got a big that's digging, when I got a big that's pushing bodies around, clearing space, when I got a big that's trying to protect the rim, when I got a big that's rebounding the way he does, that's competing on the defensive end. Is he very good at it? No, he's not very good overall as a defender. But there are facets that he's really good at, but he will compete on the defensive end. That's why I think Joker plays.
He's good at rebounding. He's not good at defense.
right. That's what I'm saying.
Like Luka is a solid rebounder.
Right.
Bad defense guy.
I wouldn't put Luka in.
What part of defense is Jokic not good at? Like, let's talk about Jokic's defense. What's he not good?
What's he not good at?
Yes. What is he not? What is he garbage? What is he garbage at?
Not really good on the perimeter. He's just
doing
slower.
What on the perimeter? Doing what on the perimeter? Just everything out there. He's just useless.
Just guarding.
Staying in front of guys.
Does he move his feet, Ron?
You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know.
No, because I feel like defense. No, I don't. And this is not a knock on you or anything. I feel like we're having a conversation about two-way players, so I feel like we should be more nuanced than what we're doing right now. It's not just perimeter defense, interior defense. Perimeter defense has a bunch of things involved in it. You got guarding on the ball in isolation. When Jokic comes up in a pick and roll and he has to hedge and recover, that's on the outside. That's on the perimeter. His ability to take away those pocket passes, whether with his hands or somehow still being allowed to kick the ball. I don't know how that hasn't been turned into a technical foul or something. But that taking away those pocket passes, having great hands, intercepting passes, defensive playmaking on the outside, like that's all part of stuff on the perimeter.
Does he do that, Ron?
So when you say he's bad on the perimeter, that's why I'm asking, what do you mean by bad on the perimeter? He's bad at everything that happens outside the paint?
Jokic does have pretty good hands, and he's pretty good at anticipating stuff too. That is something I'll give him. But it's just his mobility. He's not that mobile on defense. And that can go with hedging screens, that can go with when he gets switched on, moving his feet, that can go with if he has to hedge and recover, goes with things like that. And even then so off ball, rotating and stuff like that. He's obviously slower, so it's gonna be slower for him to rotate. Helping off ball, he's not too bad. But here's also the thing too: when he's helping off ball, and this is really like it gets into rim protecting, helping around the rim. Yep. He's just not much of a vertical threat. So that's the biggest thing for me.
I'll give you that.
Just him being slow and it's really just his athleticism. In terms of knowing where to be and stuff like that, he knows where to be and he has pretty good hands. But are you going to get to that place in enough time to be able to cut the defense off from elevating over you?
So am I trying, Ron? Is that what you're saying? Am I at least trying to do it?
Hey, chill.
Am I competing on the
hey,
so that screen that comes when I got a hedge? Am I trying to get back?
Chill. I'll be trying to get these 5-star chicks. I be trying to get Instagram models.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference,
I be trying. Right. I try.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Do I get them?
Right. Here's the difference, though, Ron. Are you competing, though?
Yeah, I'm competing. I'm sending her text messages. I'm sending her flowers.
Yes, that's the idea.
I'm offering to take her to lobster dinners. I'm trying. That doesn't mean I'm doing it.
Is Joker? He will hedge on the screen and get.
That don't mean I'm getting the goods.
Joker will when you try to lob the ball over his head, he'll try to get to it and he'll tip it out of bounds. Am I saying that Joker is the complete deterrent on defense? No, he is not. When you get the ball in the post, Joker comes down and he's digging. When you got a guard driving, Joker will be a body in the lane. Now, does Joker beat you to spots regularly? No, he doesn't. His mobility may be in question. It doesn't seem to affect him offensively, but defensively, it might be a question. Sure, but he's competing on the defensive end. He's not as bad completely as you say he is, Ron. He will compete on the defensive end, and he does do things. He'll do things that are productive defensively. He's not a cone.
Who's the best defensive center on the Nuggets?
On the Nuggets?
Him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, DeAndre's old right now, so I mean, and
I just wanted to know if you thought DeAndre was bad, or Zeke Naji.
I'm not even. I'm not. I'm not. Zeke isn't even in this conversation. I guess, but that's not saying much.
Oh yeah, I wasn't using that to be like, oh, see, he's the. I just wanted to know because DeAndre is still more vertically gifted.
Yeah.
So he can.
I wouldn't be too like if we need a defensive possession. I wouldn't be mad at Mike Malone for putting in DeAndre Jordan for that one defensive possession if we needed to stop. I don't. That's
interesting. Is Kevin Love a bad defender to you today?
Today?
Yeah.
I don't think he's a great defender.
Bad. Is he bad?
Those two things are not the same thing, Ron. Bad and great.
I mean,
I think he's smart enough and has enough experience to be able to still provide something and not be a complete liability. But his lack of mobility now, he can be picked on again with certain players. Yeah.
It's
that's why I asked. That's why I asked. I wanted to know.
Very similar.
Okay. But he's like Kyle Lowry the past couple years. Is like
that's what I was going to ask about next.
You know what I mean? Like to where a guy like Kyle Lowry is a guy that can stop runs and create runs with his experience on defense, taking charges, being in the right spot, being in passing lanes, and just being physical. And that stuff should be valued. You're not going to get that for 30 minutes, but that's a guy where I can put you in at the beginning of the third. We're down 2. I can put you at the beginning of the third and take you out. We'll be up 5. You know what I'm saying? Just because you had some key plays, key possessions, took some key charges with one of these young guys are coming downhill out of control. You know what I mean? So I don't think you're necessarily a good defender or a great defender, but you just got that experience and intelligence to be able to make plays like that. A defensive playmaker, like we was talking about earlier.
Okay.
All right, y'all. We got a couple super chats, so let's go ahead and dive into these. See what the people got to say in terms of the conversations and the debates that we've been having so far today. Make sure you like the video if you haven't. Make sure you subscribe, and shout out to all of our Hall of Famers. PCL is tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there or be square. Jose Primo, been a member for 12 months. He simply said, everybody can't be all around.
Yeah, I don't think everyone's all around. I think there are some.
Almighty Scambo said, there needs to be a floor for how good a player should be on both ends to be considered a two-way.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier. So we have to have a floor to where you have to be. But once we establish the level of how bad you can be, I think we can do a sliding scale. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, you are this good on offense. So let's give it a number. Say you can't be under 45. You can't be under 45, right? But a guy that's a 45 on a 46 on defense and a 46 on offense, I'm not giving you no love. If you're a 46 on defense, I need you to be an 83 on offense. You know what I mean? It has to be a sliding scale.
So Derek White on.
So it has to totality has to add up to a certain number.
Yes, exactly. But your lowest number can't be under 46.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, so let's say we're on a scale of 1 to 100 on both ends, right?
Right.
You can't be below, for argument's sake, a 50 on either side of the ball. You can't be below a 50.
Right.
But your total number can't be 100 because you're 50-50 on both ends.
Right.
You have to be like a
better.
Yeah, you have to be like a 125 or something.
Exactly.
So like you can be a 75 plus 50, and you're the bare minimum to be a two-way player. But the ideal is a 100-100. You got the best two-way player ever. That's how we're doing it, I guess.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm looking at.
And you can't be a player who's just 100 on offense, 0 on defense, and that's not.
No, hell no.
My thing with the two-way thing, and I just kind of finally realized exactly what it is. I alluded to it earlier. For me, I alluded it to two glasses. You just have to really fill up both glasses. You don't got to fill them up to the brim. The cup don't got to be overflowing, but you got to pour into both glasses, and it has to be, I would say over halfway.
We just said that. We're under 50 out of 100.
No. I'm not.
What the fuck? That's what I just said.
No, I'm not
just did it with glasses.
I'm not saying it got to be up to a certain amount. I'm saying like you gotta fill both glasses.
Right.
And it gotta be enough in both glasses. You gotta provide enough over here, and you gotta provide enough over here. Not collectively. I'm not saying collectively. I'm saying you gotta be good on both sides to be a two-way.
Okay.
Nico said, in my opinion, to be a two-way player, both your offense and defense have to be above a certain threshold. One side can't just carry you.
Finding that threshold is where I guess the confusion comes in. That's where I struggle, because I try to find like definitive terms or definitive answers for these terms. So that's why I get confused. But we're trying to hash that out, I guess.
Shout out to A. Blair. He became a YouTube member today. Big ups to you. Thanks for joining the show.
Mm-hmm.
Toast the GOAT has been a member for 20 months. He sent through a members chat and said, "This was ugly. ... Chill, you need to get back to the drawing board. I heard SGA is a better defender than Draymond. ... Top 5 worst takes in PC history."
I do think that's a bad take. I don't know if I've heard some egregious things, and I've said some egregious things. So I don't know if it's top 5 worst in PC history, but I do think it's a bad one. Very bad. Horrible. Egregious.
Terrible.
Void Century said, Mars said, quote unquote, "Chillin' Ox, this is just a taste of what I'm gonna do to y'all in the PCL." End quote. Cook 'em, Mars.
I gotta get past Jack first. That's why
And I gotta get past my matchup first.
Yeah,
most people got me getting cooked on Sunday. So
who you going to get up against again?
Gifted.
Yeah.
So in case y'all don't know,
I got me, but you know what I'm saying. Shout out to Gifted though. I would prefer if he wasn't my first round matchup.
These are the matchups that we're gonna get in the first round of the PCL playoffs. We got Mars versus Jack, Dion from Ohio versus MTL, Big Ox versus Gifted, Swiper versus ZZ, Chill versus OG the Beast, Penn versus Hayes, Elder Rufus versus John D, and Pirate versus Casual. These are the first round matchups we will be getting.
Who do we have tomorrow?
So tomorrow kicks off with you versus Jack Cody at 7:30 Eastern time. Then we got at 8:15 Eastern time, Penn versus Hayes. Penn's the 6th seed, Hayes is the 11th seed. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern time, we got the number 8 seed Pirate versus the number 9 seed Casual. And then ending the night, we got the number 5 seed Chill versus the number 12 seed OG the Beast at 9:45 p.m. Eastern time.
Gonna be doing these battles. My battle starts on Thursday. I guess.
Man, I got to get ready for so Chill on that Sunday. Not only do I got to go against Gifted, but I got my first open mic night, stand-up comedy. You know what I mean? On that Sunday.
Word.
Yeah, I told you I'm funnier than Mace. I didn't believe me.
We'll find out.
I need someone to pull up and just show not doing what he meant to be doing.
We need to record this. On top of that, if you in Portland, pull up, check out your man Big Ox, and like the judges, don't be biased. If it's dope, give him a round of applause. If it's trash, Boo this nigga off the stage.
I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna record it, and if people laugh, I'm gonna post it on my YouTube channel.
Nah, if they don't laugh, you're just gonna add the laughing track, right? That's what you're gonna do.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I'll call somebody and see if they can do it for me.
Lindron said that we reserve two-way term for stars and 3-and-D role players. That's how I see it.
3-and-D's for role players and 2 ways for stars. That's what he said. I didn't know that. Maybe that's an unwritten rule. I
didn't know that neither.
I mean, I'm not too mad at that. Stars.
I've always called Clay a 3-and-D player.
So this is why. So this kind of is what I was saying earlier when I say you got to fill both of those cups up. As a 3-and-D guy, you're not necessarily just filling them up. You're giving a little bit on offense with your threes, which I mean, as a 3-and-D guy, which you'll probably make anywhere from 2 to 5 threes a game. That's solid, but it's not giving you 30 a night like a star would. He's really filling that cup up. On defense, yeah, you'll provide some defense, but if you're really a two-way star, like for instance, Giannis, you're filling that cup all the way up. Joel, you're filling that cup all the way up. Bam Adebayo, you're filling that cup all the way up. So, I mean, I kind of get that. And then also for role players, how I said earlier, dunk and block or lob and block, it's more so reserved for a role player.
So when did Kawhi graduate from 3-and-D to 2-way? What year did he make that jump?
13. 16?
Yeah, I would say 16.
That was the 25 a game. I think
he averaged 21 and 16.
That was the year.
Sure, 45% from 3. I think.
Yeah, that was the year that was the MVP year of Steph Curry.
He came second.
Yeah.
When Kawhi made that jump, I couldn't believe it. I honestly didn't think he had it in him.
Yeah, 21 a game. The 25, I think 17. He averaged 25 a game that year.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So probably 15, 16. I think that's where he went from D and 3. He wasn't a scorer coming in. He became a bucket getter. Yeah, he was a defender who became a bucket getter. We didn't know he could score like that. I know.
So what if you're not a good 3-point shooter, but you're a really good defender? What's your label? Because you're obviously not 3-and-D. Why?
If you're a good 3-point shooter, so that's
not a good 3-point.
You're not a good 3-point. I'm sorry. So that's DeMar DeRozan with defense. That's
what would DeMar be? Well, DeMar would just be called a 2-way player, right? Because he's a star.
He's about to be called a champion. That's what he's getting ready to
be. Oh my god!
Hey, someone said 1-way. No, you're good at the other things on offense. Like you can pass.
You just don't shoot the 3.
You can get to the rim, but you just don't shoot threes.
I'm thinking about a guy that's in the league today.
We don't call him like a slash and D.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you? Like 2-way slasher, like
mid and D. Pun intended.
Or not even a that's a slasher, like Sean Marion. Like Sean Marion wasn't a long ball shooter. He could shoot it, but he wasn't a long ball shooter. He was more of a transition player. They wasn't really running sets for him. He could knock down a mid-range shot, but he was a defender also. I'm thinking about examples. I think that you would be a complete player. You're just not as good at the long ball line. You wouldn't be a D and 3 guy because you don't shoot the 3 as good. But I do think you could. Do you not shoot the 3 at all, Mars, or do you shoot the 3? You just ain't as good as everybody else.
You're a bad 3-point shooter. Isaac Okoro in the playoffs. Jared Vanderbilt, like bad 3-point shooter.
Now that's something different. I think guys like Isaac Okoro. I think those guys. I mean, Isaac Okoro has actually gotten better at shooting the long ball, and I think he's going to. And I think he's going to get better. So I think he could become more of a 2-way player. I do think that.
Okay.
Drink more agua said chill. I would love to know how Dame and Lopez switch 1s and 5s when Lopez exclusively plays drop coverage and stays in the paint. I rarely see it.
Well, I saw it in the play-in tournament when they played against Indiana, when him and Tyrese Halliburton, Brook Lopez was switched on to Tyrese Halliburton more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. That was going on. When I watched them play on national television, when they played against Phoenix, and Dame was on no Giannis, by the way, Dame was on the floor, and they're switching Book was playing the lead guard at that time. They were switching Book and Brook Lopez. Those guys, that was one of their biggest problems when I watched the Milwaukee Bucks. They stayed switching ones and fives. And on top of them switching ones and fives, I saw Dame get switched on ones and fours. Dame constantly switched. That's why they were as bad as they were, because they didn't have anybody defensively to protect him. Because I saw him constantly calling out, switch, get back, because he wouldn't get over screens. He would die on ghost screens. He would not keep himself in front of a guy. He wouldn't compete on the defensive side of the basketball because that's just not him.
All right, y'all. We're going to transition to the Wolves' plans with Rudy Gobert. Apparently, they see him as a long-term asset and plan on keeping him for a very long time. The president of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Tim Connolly, had this to say about Rudy Gobert. He said, we would like Rudy to be here for a really long time. We love his agent. He's been our friend for a long time and one of the best guys in the league. Certainly our goal with most of these guys is keeping them as long as they want to be here, and everyone's very happy. So ideally, continuity is one of the better strengths we are going to have going into the season, and we really like our core group. How do we feel about Rudy staying in Minnesota long term?
That's a great move for both of them, for Rudy and for the Timberwolves. I like that. I like that Minnesota is trying to change who they once were as an organization. They're taking active steps to become a better organization, more player friendly. And really want to become. I don't want to say a premier franchise, but they're trying to get out of the dark days of what they once were. I like that for Minnesota. I'm excited for them. And I'm excited for their future.
When you give up 4 1s, this shit better work. You can't. This can't be 1 year. You crazy? Hell no. This shit better work. Absolutely. And if it doesn't work in year 1, we got to keep trying because we gave up 4 1s for this. So I like the fact that they build in their defense around Rudy. Rudy's 31? So Rudy's still in his prime. I think he's got probably 3 or 4 more years at this level. And the fact that they've become a much better defense. They were already a good defense before they got Rudy. And the fact that when they got Rudy, they became a much better defense, and that's their mantra. Keeping him long term. What I didn't like, Ron, I did not like hearing the word friend. Friends in this shit. This shit is business. The minute they can move off of you, they will. So we're not friends. I work here, you work here. Let's keep this professional, because last I checked, James Harden was friends with Daryl Morey. I don't even think they talk to each other. I don't think.
I think that's an isolated. We're not 100% isolated because it happens. But I think we could still be friends. I think we could be friendly with each other and still have the understanding that business is business. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could still be a friend of yours and trade you. That doesn't mean that I hate you. You don't got to hate me. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna go play for them, and we could still, if you ever need anything, off the court, you know what I'm saying? Anything personal, you know what I'm saying? We can still be friends. We can travel together. You know what I'm saying? My wife called your wife. They go shopping together, all types of stuff. We can still do that. You know what I'm saying?
We can work that way though.
Yeah, but I think we got to stop taking business so personally.
I think being friendly is different than being friends. Like, we could be friendly, and I think that we could still conduct business that way. But I mean, I have a difficult time with the idea of being friends because in the end, and I know what friends are like. We're tight, and business can really screw that up, right?
Right.
Didn't Big tell us years ago? Ain't that crack rule number 7? Keep your family and business completely separated.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's a street business too. Yeah. For instance, like with Ron, me and Ron, we've done business together for over a decade. A lot of business together. And there's been times where I've had to call him or he had to call me like, "Hey, yo, like I'm doing this. I'm gonna need a little more, bro." You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or other way, this is gonna be like other month. I'll be like, "Damn, well, hey, that's business." You know what I'm saying? Right. Don't take it personal. You know what I mean?
Here's the difference, though, Ox. The difference is that you and him were friends before the business started, though. Like when I get on here with the Minnesota Timberwolves, I work here. Now you might welcome me into the fold, and I'm a part of the Timberwolves family. But at the end of the day, I am a valued employee, and I can be replaced. So I don't want to take that for granted. I know that I can still be friendly with you, And, we can still be cordial and friendly and have conversations, maybe even go out to dinner from time to time. But I do understand that this is business at the end of the day.
Yeah, facts. That's true. I was just simply saying, like, I wish that people could still, not take it too personally off of things like trade, getting traded and whatnot. What happened with Daryl Morey and James Harden, like, that was some underhand stuff, I guess Baltimore didn't live up to their side of the bargain. But at the same time, though, I just want people to, understand business is business. We can still be cool afterwards, but you got to stand on business, though.
Fellas, it's ironic that we're talking about Rudy Gobert because a top 75 player in the NBA, future Hall of Famer, one of the best centers that the game has ever seen, Dwight Howard, had this to say about Rudy Gobert. He said he doesn't think that Rudy Gobert is an elite defender and says he doesn't deserve those Defensive Player of the Year awards. And he's know what?
Top 75, by the way. He didn't make it. But
he's in my top 75. I'm sorry.
But he didn't make it.
But here's what Dwight had to say specifically.
What's your assessment of Rudy Gobert's
Unmuted.
I can't hear him.
What are you doing, bro?
But for what
can you hear now?
To get those Defensive Player of the Years, I don't see it. I don't see
it.
What's your assessment of Rudy Gobert's impact on defense? Right? I mean, it's tough to say because I never want to say nothing negative about any player, but I don't think he deserved those Defensive Player of the Years like he got them. I feel like he's a great team defender, but for what he did to get those Defensive Player of the Years, I don't see it. I don't see him being an elite defender. I see him as somebody who has the size. He's 7'2". So when you 7'2" and you
6'11",
athletic guys, and
what the
you
hell?
don't have to do nothing but clean up their mistakes or just be big in the paint. So
that's what you did.
It's really hard to say that he is an elite defender to have 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. This year he was actually up in the pick and roll. He was moving his feet. He was talking more. He was actually being aggressive. The years before that, I think they just gave it to him because of his team defense and how everybody was on the team.
The main point about that, all he does is clean up their mistakes. Like, what do you mean all he does? Like, that's huge. If I got dudes getting beat off the perimeter and I'm cleaning up that, like, that's huge. Man, I hate that take from Dwight. There might be some truth to it.
Is he comparing? When I hear that, I'm thinking about the other guys who've won Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. Is he comparing those guys to Rudy Gobert in terms of being an elite defensive player? Because there's no way that I can argue. There's no way that I cannot argue that he's not an elite defender. Because yes, he is, 100%. As good of a quote unquote team defender as he is, he's also a good one-on-one defender too. Now, I'm sorry if I can't slow Joker down. You said to us that when we talked about the 08, I don't mean you, Mars, you guys, Dwight Howard, you specifically said that the 08 team would play against the 1992 team. Patrick Ewing in the he's going to shoot that jump shot. I'm batting that away. I guess Olajuwon was batting it away too. I guess David Robinson was batting it away too. Those guys had trouble with him, which means he give you trouble too. So you had trouble with him, which I'm saying that to say that big guys have trouble with other big guys. You were doing the exact same thing with your Orlando Magic team. You were cleaning up a lot of their messes. You were a great team defender when guys were coming downhill. You were smacking shots into the third and the fourth row. You were cleaning glass. You were doing these exact same things that Rudy Gobert is doing for the Minnesota Timberwolves, which would explain why the Orlando Magic, when you were winning Defensive Player of the Year, were a top 3 team defensively in the league. That was largely due to what you were doing for them defensively. That's what Rudy does for Minnesota defensively. He makes all of those guys, Jaden McDaniels, as good as he is as a defender. Anthony Edwards, as good as he is as a defender. Walker, as good as he is as a defender. He makes those guys better, just like you did. So, I mean, for him to win Defensive Player of the Year those times, I mean, in 21, with him off the floor, they had a bottom 5 defense. They were garbage. With him off the floor, they were a bottom 5 defense. They're the number 1 seed in the league. With him off the floor, they were terrible. Completely terrible. So,
all right, y'all. Next, it's been a while since we've watched some basketball. Well, I mean, we got the Olympics, but we're in peak off-season mode right now.
Mhm.
So I like to go back and look at some other off-season, summer league clips and stuff like that. And I'm gonna treat you guys to one of the best off-season duels that we've ever seen in the history of basketball. Back in 2011, when KD and LeBron both faced off, and I'm not sure exactly which summer league this was, but they went toe to toe, and it was other guys here too. I think Russ was here, some other guys. Let me see. It should say it in the comments. Oh, in the Drew League, back in 2011.
This is in the summer of 2011.
Was this during the lockout? Was this the lockout?
Yes,
I think it was. It was.
Yeah, that lockout summer went crazy for the hoops. Remember, that was when
KD
James
was
Harden
pulling up everywhere. Like James Harden and Kobe.
James Harden and Kobe went at it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely a young KD.
Yep. This is when KD started showing. This is when everybody was like, okay, KD might have action at the best player in the world.
Nice.
Come back here. Lay me.
Man, turn the sound on, Ron. I want to hear your commentary.
Ron, you missed it too. When KD scored, the ref was like, wow.
Dunk me.
You guys remember when KD used to get to the rim?
Yes.
But do y'all see this Braun too? God damn, KD.
Give
me. Y'all remember when they was playing football?
I do remember that. Flag football.
KD out here dunking everything.
Good shot.
Yo, KD out here letting Braun have it.
Yikes.
Know what that is.
Don't get close to that.
Don't
get close to that. Don't get close to that.
This dunk merchant, man. Grow up. Get to a back.
Good shot. Good shot. That's a good shot.
What he doing is dunking, man. He's so boring.
Good old merchant.
Yeah.
The original run and dunk, man.
That's crazy.
You ain't see like what? There was like 2 jumpers the whole time.
He had a nice turnaround.
Yes, he did.
Ooh.
Yeah, but those are the good old days of peak summer league basketball. We'll get guys pulling up to open runs and whatnot. We don't get it too much, but had to go back and dwell on that clip because that was some fire right there. One of the best duels we've seen.
That was dope.
I know we've seen what KD was doing. I know we gonna let her. We gonna let her like just ignore it, I guess. But
Mars, is it fair? Is it fair to say that? Because I think I do it with James. I don't compare James to the players today. I compare James to what he used to be. That's why I have a difficult time with him being like top 10 and stuff like. Because I just remember that dude, the dude that was on fast forward when everybody else was on regular speed, right? So when I watch KD, I remember that dude. Is it fair that a lot of people, especially because these dudes been around for so long and they're still awesome, do we compare? Do you see yourself comparing KD to what he used to be instead of comparing him to the guys in the game today?
I think subconsciously there is always just going to be an element of that. I try not to do that as much as possible. Like I try to just look at KD compared to his contemporaries right now. Like if we're talking about where he stacks in the league today, I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's not as good as this guy because 6 years ago he used to get to the rim. I'm not gonna do that. But it's hard to like when people act like KD's just as good as he used to be. Like that's where it's like
he's not.
No, like I don't care. Like when like you look at the numbers pre and post Achilles, I don't care what the numbers say. I don't care that his efficiency looks the same and he's still averaging 27. You can see it's different. Like it's just not the same. Like if you saw KD when it was happening, or you've gone back and watched KD in OKC and Golden State, there's a drastic difference between what he was and what he is. And what he is now is still great and one of the best scorers in the league. Right. But what he was one of the most dynamic scorers we'd ever seen. And I feel like you have to go back and watch it. I think personally.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is that that's very true. He's not as explosive as he was. He doesn't score in as much in a variety as he used to. But KD is still KD. He's still in the league right now. He's still really one of one. He's still the only guy that does what he does on all three levels. Because he'll still get to the hoop. It's just not necessarily. It's not as explosive as it used to be. But he'll still get.
He relies a lot more on that jump shot today than he did years ago. He relies a lot more on it.
He do, but I mean, he's still knocking them down.
But that's why I'm like, it's just it's not the same. Like it's just not the same.
Bro, do you remember KD? You remember KD when he used to be able to turn the corner and
yeah, we just seen it.
And get to,
that was
what I'm talking about.
You see, like, do you see 7 feet on? You see how he was moving?
No,
right.
that's
That's
crazy.
not a 6'6" guy. That's not a 6'7" guy. That's a 6'10" guy, 6'11" guy. Getting to the rim off one dribble, one crossover right to left, getting to the rim, diving to the rim, one dribble, punching it. Like, he's not doing that anymore because he's not that anymore. But because he still can get his jump shot.
Now he's just getting to admit that he just doesn't miss.
Right, because he can still get to his jump shot.
Like, I'm getting here. You can't stop me from getting here.
Right.
I'm pulling up. You can't stop me from pulling up. I'm shooting the ball. You can't contest it. And you might as well just get back on defense because it's not coming off.
Yeah, that's why he's still great, but he's not what he wants.
I get that.
Like, even LeBron, like, he'll come running down the lane and he'll get up and dunk on someone, and he'll dunk, and it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, he athletic, but like 15 years ago, he would have jumped above the backboard. Like,
that was a special time in 2011. We didn't quite know how special it was dealing with those two, and then even fast forward to 3-4 years later, when it was LeBron still was at his peak powers, KD was still at his peak powers, and then you had Steph, and then Kawhi had turned the corner too. That was 2016 was a special year, undoubtedly.
Draymond Green being a two-way player.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. Klay Thompson being one of the best 3-and-D guys.
Facts.
All right, let's continue to keep it pushing. Ironically, speaking of LeBron, we just seen him. Marsh called him a run and dunk man, and this, said he needs to grow up and mature. Well, this is actually part of the reason why a Hall of Famer and one of the best defenders that the league has ever seen, Dennis Rodman, had this to say about LeBron James.
I would like to ask something. It's a TV show, right? LeBron is so easy to play. He's so easy to play. He don't have any moves. So he didn't turn on, did it? Only move he has is straight down the line. The king, what do you think? He ain't got no move. Where's he going? Where's he going? That's quick.
Straight downhill, man. And just
no, said that'll be shit. You stop that. Scottie Pippen for shut his ass down quick before I get to him. This game is too simple. He just big. Now, 6'8", 6'9". That's the only thing he got, pretty much. I'll play you guys 7 foot 300, so it don't really matter.
I would like to ask something.
Is Dennis Rodman locking up LeBron?
No.
Is the sky green?
No, Moss. No, he is not.
No one's locking up LeBron.
No, he doesn't have any moves. Yes, he does. What are you talking about? Yes, he does. That's not true. Why? Because he's not throwing the ball between his legs 6 or 7 times? Yes, he does. He's got counters. So when you beat him to spots, he can cross. He has a pull-up game. Dennis, as strong as Dennis is, Dennis was wiry, but Dennis was ridiculously strong. I will give Dennis that. Dennis was great at anticipation. Dennis was great at beating you to spots. Dennis was great at bodying you. Dennis was really good at recovering. But James' ability to get downhill, James' ability to get by you when you are bodying him. If you are bodying him going to the basket, you're not going to be, you, Dennis, in particular, you're not going to be able to stop him from getting to the basket because you say that he doesn't have any moves. He's got to jab and go. He's got to jab and pull up. He's got to cross and go. You don't need many moves in order to get past the guy. So I don't think that's true at all. You would not have shut him down. No way.
I do want to think that Dennis, as a matter of fact, I don't want to think. I do think Dennis Rodman, if it is guys in all-time history that you got to choose to guard LeBron, Dennis is right at the top of that list.
I guess.
The only way guys like James, guys like KD, the reason why I think that Scottie would have been able to maybe slow him down, like a guy like KD or a guy like James, is by keeping the ball away from him. That's it. Because like once I get the ball, that's how you slow down scorers. You throw them off rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways to throw a scorer off rhythm is keep the ball away from him. And Scottie Pippen was great. Dennis Rodman was also great at getting in passing lanes, being off ball, being a disruptor off the basketball, being in the passing lane, being up high, so he could keep the ball away from you. That's keeping you at a rhythm. Once a guy like James or KD gets the ball, though, it's going to be real difficult to slow him down. Real difficult.
Do you think LeBron's a pure scorer?
Yes, I do. Yes. I think he's one of those players that it doesn't take much for him to get going. He's not one of those guys who can just score it, who just scores in bunches. He can score at any point. And once he gets going, I can get going.
Ron?
I don't categorize LeBron as a pure scorer.
Okay, interesting. I just because that's been like a hot topic on the timeline on Twitter about pure scoring and if LeBron would count as a pure scorer.
How do you define a pure scorer, though?
Just a bucket getter, a guy who I can go to you, whether it's in transition, whether it's in the half court, I can get you the peel, get me a bucket. And I can get you a bucket any way you'd like for me to get you a bucket. I can get you a bucket on a 2-dribble pull-up. I can crack the long ball. I can counter across and get to the rim. I can stop and pop at the free throw line or the mid-range. I can get on the block. I can get you a bucket however you need me to get you a bucket or however I need to get a bucket. And I think James is 100% a pure scorer.
And you know what? Now I think he is. Like Lakers Bron and late Cavs Bron, I think he is just because he improved the shooting, he improved his mid-range game a lot. I would define that LeBron as a pure scorer. The early LeBrons, I would more so just say he was a slasher. I wouldn't necessarily define him as a pure scorer.
The definition I have been told of pure scorer is about having a deep bag with an array of moves, counters, and combos to create shots under pressure. There's not a spot on the floor that they're not dangerous from. So dangerous from all levels of the court. And that it also has to look smooth and fluid. Pure scorers. Does LeBron fit the bill?
I think he does. Yes, I think he does.
If the definition's all of that, I'm gonna have to go to my original answer. Nah.
Okay. Who would you consider a pure scorer?
Melo, T-Mac, KD, Kobe, Jordan. A lot of people will probably say Jordan, not because of three-point ball, but definitely put Kobe in there. I got to put Jordan in it, though, because Jordan was just...
So, Ron, aesthetically, so for as far as the eye test, like when you watch, because that's part of the definition from what you just said, Mars. That's part of the eye test to see him. What is it? Is he clunky? Is he heavy? What is it about him? Is the footwork not there?
No, so it's a little bit clunky. But LeBron for the most part, he's a smooth player though. But it's a little bit clunky. But also, LeBron's just stiff. It's nothing wrong with it because he gets everything off. He's just stiff, but also too, it's kind of what Dennis Rodman said. And part of it is because LeBron is just, to me, the best freak of nature that the planet Earth has ever seen. A 6'8", 6'9" guy that can get up to 260 and still run a 4.4 and have a 40-inch vertical. It's just the fact that he can literally just run past. He's faster than you. He's stronger than you. He's bigger than you. There's nothing you could do to stop him from getting to the rim. There's nothing that you could do to stop him from getting in the paint. It's nothing that you could do to stop him on the fast break. He can jump over you, run around you, all of that. So it's like, doesn't matter how clunky it is. It doesn't matter how stiff LeBron is. Doesn't matter that he doesn't have to use any moves. He just gets to where he wants to get. But if we're talking about a deep bag, LeBron does have moves. Help.
I think I've always felt like this bag.
I agree with you, Chill. I'm not a big fan of the bag talk. But if we are going to talk bag talk, it's guys that have a much deeper bag than LeBron.
I won't argue that because there's guys who have deeper. Yes, there's guys who have deeper bags.
Bag, boy.
100%. There's guys who have deeper bags. But I always felt like if I have 2 or 3 things that I can go to that I know for a fact that you can't stop, this whole deep bag thing, I don't think that matters nearly as much as if I have if you got 6 or 7 things that you could get to, but they're not as effective as the 2 or 3 things that I can get to, those 6 or 7 things you have don't matter. You don't need that much. And the example that I always bring is, as good as Jabbar was in transition, as good as he was around the rim, Jabbar had one move: stop this and you stop me. And he had it with both hands. He had it with the left hand and he had it with the right hand. Stop this and you stop me. Played 20 years, scored almost 40,000 points. I don't have to have a deep bag in order to be effective as a scorer. I've never subscribed to that. Never.
You think Kareem was a pure scorer?
Yeah,
I think he was a bucket getter, 100%. Yes, Jabbar was 100% a bucket getter. I can go to that hook at any point, and you can't stop it. I can go.
Is Giannis a pure scorer?
And to answer that other part of your question, when you talked about the definition, that sky hook is beautiful. It's just a beautiful shot. Now
it
Giannis,
is nice. I can't believe y'all don't show the sky hook as much love as you guys.
No,
do.
I'm just trying to. I just want to know who the pure scorer. Like, is Giannis a pure scorer?
No, hold on. Before we get to Giannis, do you guys know how hard it is to shoot that sky hook?
There's only one guy who was able to perfect it.
I'm telling you, it's harder to make that running sky hook than it is to make a contested 3. And I'm not lying. Here's what I want you guys to do: go out and shoot 10 threes. And then go out and shoot 10 sky hooks. Not close sky hooks right under the hoop. Go and shoot them where Jabbar was shooting them in the middle of the paint, right it around that dotted line. We don't even chill. We don't even got to go out to the free throw line. Making a sky hook at the free throw line is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you guys, go out just the dotted line area. Go out to the dotted line and throw that sky hook and see how many you make. I guarantee you make more threes than you make the sky hook.
To answer your question, Mars, is Giannis a pure scorer? I think he got better at scoring. I don't know if he's a pure scorer. I think he's gotten better at it. I'm not sure he's a pure scorer.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand like the perspective of things. Yeah. Okay.
All right, y'all. Back to the super chats. My man, it's Mr. GQ to you. He's been a member for 17 months. He sent through a member's chat. He said, Mars, you need to go back to 2KU and learn your archetypes. There are sharpshooters, lockdowns, playmakers, slashers, 3-level scorers, mid-range specialists, paint beast, etc. 2 ways equals sharpshooting locks.
What is
there's also now 2-way inside-out ISO specialists.
2-way in that's on the game, Mars. 2-way inside-outside specialist. What the hell is that?
Can you describe that to us?
What?
Play both sides of the floor, 2-way, inside out. So you're a slasher, but you can also shoot the 3 inside out. ISO specialist, you're a one-on-one
player.
Who are these guys? Would that be like a D-Wade?
2-way inside out ISO specialist. What player would I give that tag to? Oh no,
that sounds kind of rare.
Someone said Anthony Edwards. I actually don't. I don't.
Okay, I like that.
I actually don't hate that. I
think that's the perfect definition.
Paul George, maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah, but you know, Anthony Edwards, he's a top 20 defender. He'll go and dunk on you. He'll knock down that long ball. Like that's it right there.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards might be a solid one there.
Tyrone Winston has been a member for 16 months, and he sent through a members chat. He said, I'm with Mars. I'm a KD stan, but it's just not different.
Yeah, like I think KD's still one of the best players in the world, but I'm not gonna lie. It's the off season. I highly advise, if you're ever bored, just go watch an old OKC game. Go watch old games in general. You're gonna see how KD moving. The nostalgia's gonna hit. The nostalgia's gonna hit. The other day, the game I was watching, where I said I was watching Nena Kirstic shoots, KD had like 18 in the first quarter. I was like, oh my God, it was ridiculous. Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, that was a great game. It was just some random January game, OKC versus Orlando. Gilbert Arenas was playing for the Magic. Random game. It was a great game though. OKC won by like 30.
Necro X said, Mars, that guy Kev Love on TikTok, .. straight gut goofy.
Oh yeah, he don't like us. But Ron, he said we're all stupid. Yeah, he not rocking with us.
Who? What's his name?
Kev loves NBA, something like that. Yeah, he got mad at he stitched the TikTok of Ron saying Russell Westbrook's the 4th best point guard. Said all of us are stupid. So yeah.
Yo, Kev, don't lump them guys in with me. If you got a problem with me and my take, say I'm stupid. Straight gut goofy.
Nah, he mad at all of us individually. Yeah.
So he's caught us all saying some things.
Yeah, I joined his live. I got kicked. It wasn't a great time.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yo, well, check this out, straight gut. You got an opportunity to come get on the show, and you can show us how smart you are. Show us how much of a basketball savant you are. If you're a genius when it comes to this hoop talk, bring your ass up here.
Oh,
come
Ron,
take us to school.
He's not. Don't worry, Ron. He's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, that's why he's a straight gut goofy. Culture Bandit said, I don't like me this offseason, chill. I don't like me this offseason, chill. I miss the old chill.
I don't like this offseason chill. I miss the old chill. I don't know what the difference is, but all right, whatever.
Chill, are you progressing?
I don't
you on your KD arc right now? You not getting to the rim?
I guess not. You know, I like to think I'm still sharp. You know, I think I'm still an all pro.
I mean, KD made the All NBA team. It's just not how it used to be.
I still think I'm an all pro. So you know.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Brax the Bandit said, "Chat, start bench cut. July chill, August chill, potential September chill. This month is a dud already. We'll aim for October."
Be like 3 days into the month. Damn. That Draymond Green stuff is nonsense, by the way. Yeah,
get that shit out of here. By the way,
yeah, that was nonsense, but it is.
MTHJ 301 said, defense plus playmaking / scoring gravity, major contribution to offensive schemes is two-way. Defense plus mainly catch and shoot, barely any dribbles or any off dribble plays is 3-and-D.
Shit sound like an algebra problem. Get the hell out of here.
What
the hell are we doing?
Real, dude.
The hell?
I mean, his name is MTH.
X squared times Z plus ZX. Get the hell out of here.
I think Clay was a 3-and-D player in his prime, but I also think he was I think he was a two-way player too. I think they can be the same thing. I think I could use both to define.
No, for sure. I think Clay was the ultimate 3-and-D player. Like if I think 3-and-D,
the Michael Jordan of Danny Green.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying, Mars. If I'm 22 a game and I'm on an all-league defensive team, that's elite.
Michael Jordan of Danny Greens. That's what he was. Might be on my top 10 shooting guard list. Who knows? Find out on Thursday.
Oh, shit.
Huncho, your boys call you Luncho, sent through a super chat. He said, DeAndre Jordan, a two-way defender. Ant is a good off-ball defender. Iverson is two-way.
Iverson led the league in steals 3 times.
Doesn't seem like Luncho's really enjoying this these conversations that we having, guys. Maybe he thinks we're straight gut goofies too.
Damn, we about to get cooked on TikTok again.
Don't do us, Luncho. You don't have to. Smooth Tool with a start bench cut in today's games. He said Penny, Rashid, and Reggie. I actually like this in today's game.
Start Penny.
These three
I'm definitely cutting Reggie.
All three of these guys would be nice.
I'm definitely cutting Reggie because
what?
The reason why I'm cutting Reggie is I'm definitely cutting Reggie, and the reason why I'm cutting Reggie is off the strength of how big these guys are today. So Sheed, the matchup problem he's going to be, and the fact that he can stretch the defense, the way he stretches the defense at 6'10", yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with
Reggie's 6'7".
Right, and Sheed is 6'10".
Reggie has 6'7" two guards,
and Sheed can shoot the long ball also. He can't shoot it like Reggie. But he causes a lot. I feel like he causes a lot more mismatches than what Reggie does. A lot more. Just on the offensive end of the floor, he causes a lot more mismatches.
I think Reggie not being able to really dribble will hold him back more in today's game than it did back in the day. Probably. I don't know. I'm starting Penny. Everything else I don't know. I'm starting Penny.
Like if it's a draft, I'm drafting Penny. If we're doing it in a way that he's stating the question, start bench cut in today's game, like who do I think whose game translates the best? I really actually think Reggie's game translates the best. Just with him being the shooter that he is, being able to move off ball and transition threes, all of that stuff. Reggie would be crazy in today's game.
Facts.
But I don't think he'll be a better player. I just think his game translates more.
Oh, it does. 100%.
To what's going on. And Rasheed would be crazy too.
Now, him being better than Giannis in today's game, I think that was putting a little bit too much ketchup on it. Let's take
way too much. Young. So
let's do that. Let's chill out on that.
Marquavian Black said Mars move in the post. First on ball, then defensive, or then post defense.
I already explained why I did that. Yeah.
You don't got nothing else from Marquavian?
It's gonna be the same thing I said an hour and a half ago.
Okay. Just making sure you don't want to cook them anymore. Brax the Bandit said September chill already. Heartbreaking.
I love the fact that you think that highly of me. I think that's dope. more than anything. I think that's dope that you think that highly of me. Word. I think that's dope.
All right. Moving along. Mo he answered the start bench cut earlier. He said start Harden, bench Wade, cut AI. That's what I said, Mo.
How can you bench Wade if he was never dominant? That was.
Oh, so what you saying? You got to get him out of there?
Oh I mean, AI and Harden were both dominant, no? What are you talking about?
Wow.
He sent through the super chat and he said, Rakia Jackson. That's all.
That's a WNBA player, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she is. A very fine in terms of putting the ball on the ground and getting buckets. And she's also a pretty good defender too. She's a fine player indeed. But no, Rakia Jackson, she's had a good rookie season. She's probably with Cam Brink out, she's definitely the third best rookie. If Cam Brink would have kept playing, she would probably be the fourth. But
she'd definitely be a top 5 rookie.
She's probably the second best rookie for real. Interesting.
Yeah, I see what you're doing here, Mars. I'm not engaging.
Can she make layups? Can she make layups?
She got a nice offensive game.
Oh, okay. So she's second. All right.
She averaging 12 and 4 as a rookie. It's not too bad. She gonna have a good career for sure.
For what? Assists or rebounds?
Rebounds.
If she was averaging 13, she gonna miss some more layups. She'll be all right.
Yeah. That's killing us.
Mavs Luka Kyrie said, "Who is better, Prime Clay or Bam in terms of two-way?" Chad, I'm about to run a poll on this.
Clay's better offensively, but Bam's better defensively.
That's what I was about to say. And for what Clay was doing with that Golden State team, I mean, is it more valuable? Because like we see a lot of what Bam does, and there's more to be desired on the offensive end, just specifically as a scorer. There isn't any more to be desired from Clay. You're getting everything on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. You're getting the guy who can put the ball on the floor. You're getting the guy who can crack the long ball. But you also getting the guy, Mars, I think when you hear me say put the ball on the floor, I think you hear me say that like James Harden or like other guys. I'm thinking just 2 dribbles, pull up. I'm thinking 1 dribble, pull up. I'm thinking 2 dribbles, straight line to the basket. I'm not thinking a guy who I'm giving him the ball, clean the whole right side of the floor out, get busy. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just thinking about a guy who's coming off the screen and you crowd him. I can put the ball on the floor, 2 dribbles, get to the rim, or I can put the ball on the floor, 2 dribbles, stop and pop. That's what I'm thinking about when I think about Clay. He's not strictly relegated to the long ball line. No, he can do other things. I feel like with Bam, as good as Bam is as a scorer, I feel like there's still more to be desired from him. I feel like that 19 at 20, it could be more. He could be better in transition. He could be better in the stop and pop. I feel like he could be better around the rim. As good as he is around the rim, I feel like there's more there. I don't think that there was any more there with Clay. I think he got maximized.
Okay.
Who you taking, Mars?
Bam.
Okay.
Oh, no. Clay.
I think I got Clay. I actually kind of got Clay pretty comfortably, too.
Oh, comfortably. Yeah, I'll go with Clay. Why not?
All right, and the last super chat of the day. As of right now, you guys still got a couple minutes to shoot a super chat through. But Julius Irvin said Clay is more than just a 3-and-D guy. What 3-and-D guy averages 22 every year? Klay has a post game and mid range game. He's a two-way player. Klay is all right in the post.
I don't know if Klay averaged 22.
It's only one move, but all right.
That
Klay did shoot more deep twos than people seem to remember. Like a lot of his shots were deep twos. So that's true. But then I would say back in the day had really no 3-and-D players because even Reggie Miller, like he wasn't a defensive player, but Reggie Miller took a bunch of deep twos. So like I think when 3-and-D player gets said, like a lot of it is just like shooting D, like two-way sharpshooter type vibe. That's what Klay was. Two-way sharp.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Klay averaged 20 points for 7 straight seasons or 20 plus.
From what, 15 to 22?
23.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah.
And I mean 22 and 23, it was obviously a little different post ACL and Achilles, but still averaging.
Before the injuries, from 14 to 19, he was 21, 22 a game. Yes, he was.
And Klay was hell.
Yes.
Klay was, see, man, go back and watch old Klay, man. That was a good player too, man.
It was a conversation between him and I want to say Jimmy Butler, like who the best two guard in the game is during that time. That was a real conversation.
Wasn't Paul George? Paul George was in those too. That's back when he was playing
not 16 afterwards, not post injury. Post injury, he was playing the 3rd.
Okay.
Because they had Monte, so it was Darren Collison and Monte.
When did he get hurt?
14.
14. Okay.
14 off season for the FIBA, I think.
It was in the summer. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm on Basketball Reference right now, and they have Klay's projected stats for 2024-25, basically next season. And I need you guys to tell me if they're tripping or not. They have Klay averaging 22 points.
Damn.
Are they out of their minds?
Yeah.
And his efficiencies are not good.
I don't think he's going to get as many shots as maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So they have him getting up 18 shots.
He is not getting 18 shots
and they have him shooting. They have him shooting averaging 10.9 threes a game.
Oh, I can see that. But I think if he shoots 11 threes,
10 threes a game.
Yes, and he's barely gonna go inside the 3-point line. I think he might take like 40. He might take like 14 shots a game and like 10 of them are threes.
Yeah,
and he'll average. I think he'll average like 17, 18, but like a nice and efficient 18.
Okay. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Before we do, shout out my man Brandon Murray. He became a member at the last second. And before we get up out of here, one more big shout out to all of our Hall of Famers: Hutton Gilgores, Jerry Allity, Arch, Kendall Daniels, Multi Kinney, Cobra Son of Raditz, and Dorian Clayton. We will catch you guys all tomorrow. Brandon Murray slid one more through. He said, "What award is better? All-Star or first team defense?"
Whichever one gets me a higher boost in my salary.
Being an all-league defender.
I agree, too.
That one. Being an all-league defender, no doubt. Later.
All right, y'all. Same time tomorrow. Y'all know where to find us.
Later. Be easy.